Welcome, everybody. This is Mr. Mike, and welcome to the GamezAttack podcast here at OldFreakyGamer.com. This is episode 99, as I am calling this episode Pro Cost. Oh, yeah. And let's thank PixelBay.com for this starting special theme song. Hit slab-game-gaming-video-game-music 459876. And that's how it is actually spelled out in the thing. Welcome, everybody, one and all. Oh, yeah. And that is a good way to end the music and start this show. If you did not notice, yes, I got a new sound, not a new sound bite. I pulled this out of the closet of sound bites. I'm like, Mr. Mike, maybe you should start a couple, put on a little more other sound bites. Like, I haven't used this one in a while.
Dude, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, that's a good one. We're going to use that a little bit later today.
Dude, go fuck yourself.
Uh-huh. Yeah, why not? But, yeah, the rebel yell here, or the goofy yell. Sorry, not rebel yell, goofy yell. That's a good one. What was this one?
Seem to be living in a dream or something separate from reality.
Anomalies become common.
But do we dare wake from this dream?
It may just be.
That's a freaky one. I forgot what one that was. I think that was another song that I used a long time ago. But yeah, a couple more I was adding around here, so why not? I even got cyberpunk music here too. I don't know. I'm just putting sounds and music all over this thing, junking it up. So welcome, everybody. If you did not understand what I am doing now, I am having fun doing a audio podcast. Now note, you can listen to this via YouTube or watch it via YouTube if you want to watch my ugly old puss here with my virtual background and all that stuff, or you can just listen to this as well. And you can listen to this on any of your major podcast apps and on your phones, or you could just download the MP3 from my website at OldFreakyGamer.com, and you can listen at your convenience if you want to, or you can just listen via your podcast apps and subscribe to my free podcast. Even via YouTube, you can subscribe for free and enjoy listening to my nasally drone, as I like to say sometimes. Yeah, it's a little nasally today. Not too bad. I think this microphone does a very good job at masking my shittiness. That is my voice. What can't $300 give you today or nowadays? Yeah, so let's get started with the podcast, with the show. I've been having some fun. Haven't played too many games over the week. Been busy like usual. It's getting different out there, and I've been extra busy at work lately. So it's been something. It's been something. But I did get into a few games, and I have tried to get more through some of these games. So I am just gonna kick this off right away, because why not? With the games that I've played this past week.
The games that have been played in the past week.
Oh, what a classic. And I think I'll keep that as a classic for a very long time. So the games I have played in this past week. Now note, I am recording this podcast a little early, like I've been doing for a couple weeks now. I'm recording this on a Thursday, so Thursday. April, what is this? April 2nd. This is April 2nd. So it's the day after April Fool's Day. So April 2nd. And this is going on Monday. So what? Today's Thursday, 2nd, 3rd, Friday, 4th, Saturday, 5th. So it'll be up the 6th. if my garbage math says anything about it. But yes, recording this on Thursday. I feel like sometimes it's a little bit better. Now, not always I can record on Thursday. Sometimes I will have to record on a Saturday or Sunday or something like that. But I've been trying to bump it up a bit, especially when there is some games news, but there isn't a lot of stuff that needs to be talked about in games news. Like there could be a lot of stuff that is going on, but it's not worth it. And then a lot of the games news that's happening in the news, you can put it all together with other games news that is a part of that games news if it's a developing story or something like that. So I definitely do that stuff. So that's what's going on this week. Also, it's just been, like I said, it's been a week. I've been doing a lot of stuff, house stuff, workout stuff, work stuff. And then when I do get a chance to game, I do a little bit of it and then I get super tired and it's like, nah, I don't want to game when I'm tired. So then I go to bed. So, oh, and I've been watching a lot of shows and stuff. So, yes. And I don't really talk about it. The shows, it's mostly anime, a couple movies. I got a few new movies here I got to rip this weekend, but mainly when I do a lot of gaming, I'm trying to focus on certain games and such. So that's what I've been doing. And I forgot to put it in a game right here. And I always do that because when I start the show, I'm like, oh, am I going to even play this game? And I do. And I forgot. Let's see. Da, da, da. Hold on. I'm sorry, folks. This is bad pod. That happens when you can't type and speak at the same time. And no, that's a 2 on that. And we're going to put in a lovely little P and a C here to remember that's P and a C to make it PC. And I'm not saying about the person. I'm saying about what I'm typing on or playing on. I have to add the lovely capital P and the lovely capital C to make it a proper name, because if you put a lowercase p and a lowercase c, it's not the same as a P capital and C capital, if you understand what I'm saying. Anyways, folks, games been playing, games that I will be playing tomorrow on Friday or after, if you're watching and listening to this, that's past. It's the past already. Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, of course, you already know it if you watch my videos, if you watch my show live, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, right here at OldFreakyGamer.com or YouTube.com/OldFreakyGamer-2023, or you could just go to type in OldFreakyGamer, one word, in the search for at YouTube.com. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet on YouTube, subscribe. Push the little thing that says subscribe on the Old Freaky Gamer. Subscribe on the YouTube. It doesn't cost you a penny. And I try to put up a lot of videos a week. I put up at least 3, sometimes 4 if there's a game coming out and I want to do a first gameplay, and you never know when I might pop up with a video or something. It's always good to do that, and it's, like I said, it's free. It doesn't cost you a dime or a penny or any moment of your time. And I try to put up good regular content every week, so why not? And then, like I said, I stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays, on most Fridays, not this upcoming Friday. But yeah, most Fridays I do streaming and stuff on there, and I'll talk more about that upcoming in a second. Do I even have that in here? I don't even have it in my show notes, I don't think. Oh well, I'll put it in my show notes later, I guess. But yes, I've been streaming and playing and streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade via my nice big rig PC here. And I've been playing it every Friday so far. And I think this Friday, I'm not going to 100% guarantee that, but I'm going to 99.98% guarantee that I am going to play and beat this Friday Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. It depends on the one chapter. They said, I think it was 17, 16, 17, one of those chapters. They said it was extra long of a chapter, which I hope it's long enough, because then there's only 18 chapters. And then, like I said, whatever content might be after the 18. Like I said, I look it up on the internet. I get different answers and different things. And I'm not really watching anybody's video gameplay on Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, even though I could, but I don't. But with the Intergrade part of it, that means they added more to it, more content to it, I'm thinking. But I'm hoping to have that played and finished this Friday. And if so, that's going to be sad for one thing, because I really like the game. Hence why I've been playing it every Friday and streaming it every Friday. But all great things have to come to an end. Plus, don't forget, we're in April already. May, and then June. April, May, June. We'll be here. June will be here in no time, folks. And guess what comes out in June? Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. So then I'll be back on that Final Fantasy VII bandwagon again. Now, will I be streaming Final Fantasy VII Remake Rebirth? Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I should want to play it on my handheld for myself, but I do have a lot of other titles to play and, play and enjoy and get done with. So any of those titles I could play on my handheld, but you never know. You never know. But it is coming to that first chapter, first part of part 1 through 3 that is almost done. Like I said, I have been having a lot of fun. I think the characters are amazing. Cloud, Tifa, those main two. What's his name? Barrett. Yeah, Barrett. And I'm forgetting her name. It's been a little while. Not Tifa, because I already said Tifa. People are gonna hear me. Aerith. Is it Aerith? No. Aerith, or is it Aerith? No. Gonna hate myself because I always forget. What's her freaking name? Oh boy, my brain. I tell you, folks, if I had a real brain in my head, I would know this right off the bat. But yeah, let me think for a second here. This is good thinking material. Okay, I'm back. You didn't notice. Yeah, I was right. I can't believe I was right. It was Aerith. So it's Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, Aerith. I can't believe because I thought it was the dude that was Aerith, but no, that's that other dude. That's Azeroth. I think his name Azeroth. I think I remember. I think I got some brain cells coming back to me, folks. I think some brain cells kicked in and started up after all this time. You would think being put into my brain, I would remember that stuff, but no, sometimes I don't. But yeah, that's how come I like it so much. If I can remember the damn main cast of characters instead of just one of them, that's usually means that it's a really good game or a really good movie or something. And I'm telling you, folks, even though there's a lot of people out there, and they say a lot of people, and they're saying a lot of kids are not getting into should I say now's gaming or before to now's game? They're not getting into traditional. Yeah, that's what I think somebody said. They're not, kids and people are not, or younger people are not getting into traditional gaming nowadays. And that's kind of a bothersome effect to me. I don't know. It could just be because, I don't know, they can't afford it. They got too much shit going down, There are many reasons why that could be a possibility, but I'm telling you, if there's a game you want to snuggle down on, you want something somewhat easy, but it has a good long story to it that gives you a lot of bang for your buck, I'm telling you, folks, listen to me for once. Play Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. You can get it for your Xbox, PC, PlayStation, Switch, too. All that great stuff, and it is fun. And it's like, is it still $40? Because if it's still just $40, it's worth every fucking penny. Cheaper than paying $70+ on those newer games. And you can wait for those newer games to go down. You can play this, and it's a great looking, great playing. And like I said, the story's a fantastic JRPG from Square Enix. And trust me, this is coming from my heart. My cold, dead, broken heart here, folks. And I don't usually give too much praise to a lot of Final Fantasy. Like I said, I'm not the biggest Final Fantasy fan out there. You know, I don't like any of the original Final Fantasies. I hate them. I don't want to read. I don't want to read too much in my game. I read. There's a lot of games I do read. You know, like the Ace Attorney games you got to read because they just don't do the voice. But you know, and I don't like the original Final Fantasies and. You know, some of the Mario games, it's like, okay, enough talking, enough of me having to read your stupid speech bubbles. But this is good because this isn't reading. This is giving you like a Final Fantasy VII action-packed CGI movie with your gameplay intact, and it's just all integrated beautifully, hence the name. And I'm enjoying it. It's like my new Lord of the Rings kind of concept because, like I said, I never really, instead of Final Fantasy 13, which I just, you know, more recently beat, not from when it came out, but, you know, recently, and now this, and oh, I don't know. I'm liking these Final Fantasy games, and I do have a bunch of the latest Final Fantasy games in my collection, so I will be trying those out and playing those as well. But this just takes me on that journey and throws that nice, sweet story to me, and it's just so easy to play and so easy for me to enjoy it. It's just like, yeah, worth every penny, worth every penny. And I've been having fun playing it, folks. So that was the first game, and that will also, like I said, hopefully will be the today will be, or not today, this Friday. So tomorrow for me, but for you guys in the past, will hopefully be the last time I play Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. Because once the story is done and I'm done with the game, I am not going back into it. I don't usually go back into games too much unless if there's something that I really need from them, like something extra or something. But otherwise, I will be done. I will wait for the next part to play, the next chapter, the next part. That's when I'll get back into playing more Final Fantasy VII after that. Been jumping into Assassin's Creed Shadows remote play and off of my Xbox Series X onto my Xbox ROG Ally X, and just been having fun with Naomi. You know, I talk about her all the time. I might be doing, after, you know, Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade, I might be jumping back into some Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplaying on my streams, on my Friday streams. Maybe. I haven't decided. It could be another game, but I'm pretty sure it might be just some Assassin's Creed Shadows remote playing, so get ready for that. Like I said, that's still a thing that I got to think about what I'm going to play, or if I decide to play a new game. But most likely I might want to play like Assassin's Creed Shadows, or I might be trucking on Fridays. So Friday trucking days, or I might be playing some just random games. I don't know yet. I have not decided yet on that, but I have been jumping back in Assassin's Creed Shadows, playing as Naomi, a little less on, what's his name? Yodazen? No, what's his name? Not Yakuza. Oh, see, he's okay, but I don't know. I always forget his name. You know, the big black samurai guy. Let's just say it to that. I got his name in my head. It's just Yosuke. Is it Yosuke? Yosuke? Is it Yosuke? I'm not gonna. It might be Yosuke. But yeah, I'm always just playing as Naomi if I can. There are a few instances where I got to play as like Yosuke. I think it's Yosuke, or his character. But mostly I just play as Naomi. And like I said, I just been taking territory, jumping to eagle to eagle, scouting out stuff, breaking into castles and temples and stuff, and taking down samurai baddies and stuff like that, and looting and shooting, you know, looting and chopping. I can't shoot. Naomi doesn't shoot, but she chops. She drops and chops, does super fast attacks, and I don't know, gut checks people to submission. Very fun game. Very beautiful looking game still. Got my dragon riding dragon mount going on there. And like I said, I will be going to some more story. I did it some side quest stories also that I ran a path of, so I've been doing some of that stuff, but mostly, chipping away at it. It's a lot of game. Assassin's Creeds are a lot of game, especially the last time when I played Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed Valhalla Odyssey and beat that was a lot of game. And Assassin's Creed Shadows is definitely a lot of game, and for someone like me that's trying to cover as much territory as possible on that game, it just makes the game even bigger and longer to take to beat because now I'm not doing any of the main missions and stuff. Even though I killed a lot of main guys, I killed a lot of the super baddies because I just find them, randomly around my travels, and then I kill them, and it's like, you just killed this unknown asshole. I'm like, good, great. This is one of those super baddies that unknown super baddies, and I didn't come across them yet in story or anything, and I already killed them. So, hey, I don't have to worry about that down the road now, do I? In my stories and in my ventures. Hopefully, he doesn't need to be alive for something. But hey, so that's what I've been playing that remotely from my Xbox to my handheld PC, and like I said, it runs great. Runs great. It's fun to play. I could sit on the couch and play it, or lay on the couch and play. I could play it here in the office. I could play it up in my bedroom. It's a very good game to play, and you know, nowadays when things are more expensive, games, consoles, and hardware, all that great stuff. It's great to buy some games that are very, very long. They don't all have to be long, but a lot of games get them at a good price, getting them while they're long, stocking up on those digital purchases and stuff, and it'll help you throughout the tough times. These hard times as being gamers out there, when sales go on, look at the sales. There's sales going on all the time now. I'm seeing Steam sales. Microsoft Xbox has a sale going on, their spring sale, which looks like there's a lot of great stuff in that. So I got to triple check that before, you know, and see if I'm going to be buying anything else from them and just storing it in my vast collection of digital titles that I haven't touched yet. But yeah, that's me. But yeah, it's always good to have a big backlog, folks. As long as you can play that backlog, it's always good to have a big backlog of games to play. And getting digital game sales and stuff, getting games from digital game sales, it just makes it a whole lot easier to have that bigger catalog of games that you don't have to store on a shelf. Even though I admit I loved owning, I was all about owning physical titles, and like I said, with recent events and things becoming are just more digital, and basically the games aren't really on the discs anymore, and they're all basically something like a little bit of game, but it's mostly code to download the rest of the game off the internet to your console anyways, and you're downloading the game from part of the disc to the console as well, so you're not really playing the game off the disc, you're playing off the console because the disc ain't fast enough. That's for both Xbox and PC. And then you got the Switch or the Switch 2, where Nintendo's just selling people game card keys, which are game carts with just keys on them, saying, "Hey, just download this game from our site to your Switch 2," which is interesting and kind of stupid and sad in a moment, because I bet people want to buy those physical games because they don't have internet. But I guess nowadays, if you don't have internet, you're pretty much shouldn't be buying consoles or handhelds anyways. I hate to say that because people say, "Oh, well, I live in a remote area where I can't get internet." That's kind of hard to believe nowadays, especially here in the United States. I can understand elsewhere in the world, but here in the United States, you can get internet pretty much anywhere, not just cellular, not just cable and fiber and stuff like that. But, not that I'm saying it's the cheapest or the best way, but you do got Starlink in the sky, you got satellite, and I'm sure, and I hear more satellite companies are trying to get something going as well, so they can start up their own satellite internet companies and stuff. Even though Elon has the Starlink, he has the sky in his own fist right now. So Yeah, like I said, there's not very many reasons why you can't have internet nowadays. Even if you're in the farm in the middle of nowhere in the United States, like I said, I can't say that for sure elsewhere in the world. Sure, you could probably use Starlink in more of the country, most of the countries out there, but not all of them. And it depends on the country that has better internet or whatnot or this or that. I can understand that, but most likely, I think you can get pretty much internet in a lot of places nowadays. It's hard to not come up to an area where there's no internet, unless if you're Amish. Even I think the Amish might be using the internet more and more nowadays. So there you have it. What does that have to do with anything? I don't know. I just was talking about backlogs. See, I go off tangents sometimes when I'm talking about. But like I said, Assassin's Creed Shadows, great game, long game, worth every penny. Another fun, great game that I love to play. I highly recommend it because I like the Assassin's Creed games. Not all of them are bangers, but like I said, with the recent ones and stuff, and I'm interested if Ubisoft does eventually have that remake of Black Flag down the road. I might give that another second chance. I do own it for the 360, and I know I could not play that for some reason. I just really could not get into that, and I tried doing it, and I just was lost in that. But I think if they remade it and they made, they changed up some stuff and there are a lot of stuff or whatever, maybe I'd get into it. I don't know. Maybe it's always a second chance on some of that stuff. Plus, you know, that's just me. Uh, Another game I've been going back to periodically, Ball X Pit. You probably seen that on, was it this Wednesday? It was the last Wednesday I had my Let's Play. I was playing. I was like, what do I want to play? I want to play more Ball X Pit, and I was playing that on my Let's Play. But I was playing it off my Let's Play as well because I've been having a fun time with Ball X Pit. It is a fun. I don't know. What do we call that? Is that a run and gun? It's a shooter. It's a top-down shooter, wave shooter where waves of enemies come down at you and you gotta shoot the balls and stuff. It's like I said before, if anybody knows what Snood is, that's what it's like. And you're shooting the balls and you're trying to take out the enemies and stuff like that. And then there's some 3 boss battles and stuff like that. And then you go from being underground fighting these evil creatures, waves of evil creatures, and then you go back up and you're creating your own your own town, city, whatever you want to consider, your own place and stuff like that. It is a really interesting game on this Ball X Bit. And I'm glad, like I said, I'm glad I'm playing it. I'm glad I liked it enough to buy it, even though it's on Game Pass right now still. And I got to thank Asha Sharma. Like I keep saying, I got to thank that lady. Brand new to the game, but she was playing Ball X Pit and she 100%ed that game. And it's like, yeah, this might be a game that I might want to get. This might be a game that I might want to get and play. So that's what I did. I got it. I played it, and I'm having fun with it. And it's another nice little sit-down game. I play either here on my desktop PC or my Xbox Rogue X, and I have some fun playing Ball X Bit. Why not? Fun little game right there. Next up, on my ROG LAX, which I talk about, Persona 4 Golden. I'm still rolling through that. I just completed the Rise part, where I helped save Rise. If you know what I'm talking about for Persona 4 Golden, for the Persona games, this was the older one. I know they got the remake coming any day now, soonish, and people are getting ready to play that. I'm playing the older version. I'm happy with this old version. I'm sure the new version is going to be great and all, but the old version, I'm going to play that. I don't know if I'm going to get the new version, at least not right away, because why would I want to play the same game basically over again if they're just like remastering it or whatever they're doing, up-resing it and whatnot. But plus I heard they're going to take out stuff like they did with Persona 3 Reload, which I have both copies of digitally, so I could play the original Persona 3 Reload, Persona 3 or Persona 3 Reload. So of course I could do that. But yeah, with Persona 4 Golden, it's been a dream of mine to beat it eventually, and now I'm coming very much closer to that dream. You know, the only Persona game, well, two Persona games I played and beat. I beat that Persona 5 Royale. That was a good long Persona game, and that was after I watched the anime of it. Thank you, anime. And then there was that Persona. Oh, what was that? Oh, it was that turn-based shooter. You know what I'm talking about? That Persona game. That was really cool. I hope they make another one of those. It was like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle kind of thing going on with that. And it was really cool. I think it was like Persona 5 Battle or fuck. I forgot the name of it, but you know what I was talking about. It was pop, stop, go a few tiles over, shoot, stuff like that. That was a really good game. So those were like two Persona games that I actually played and beat. And this Persona 4 Golden, like I said, I'm on Rise right now. I just completed her, saved her. She joined my group already of teenagers and stuff in our Scooby-Doo quest to find who's the murderer, the real murderer and stuff like that in the cases. And then we're going to get up to that boy girl that's coming up next that, you know, she pretends to be a boy, to be this boy detective, but yet he's really a she. And it's like, oh, no wonder we get some mixed feelings. And she sounds like a girl. And I'm like, wait. And and when I watched the anime, I noticed that too. And then I found out she was a she and not a he. And then, but in the game, I'm like, wait, why does this boy sound like a girl? Is it this just character played by a girl that is doing a boy? And then I find out, oh, you're just pretending to be a man because you want to be respected and all that. And, you know, if you're a man, you're more respected and all that. So I understand what was happening. And then you get into all the weird sexual stuff in the game and in the anime for Persona 4 Golden later with all these characters. And I'm like, damn, I'm surprised there wasn't all these orgies going on in this game. I know they got to draw the line somewhere, but they do some pretty kanky shit in these Persona games. And they talk some real shit talk too as well. So I'm always surprised they don't try to cross that line and get into the, you know, triple X territory with some of these characters in their games, because I'm sure sickos like me would just love to play these games even more if they did that. But otherwise, it's fun for what it is. And like I said, I am getting closer to the edge, to the end of this game, because I know where the game will end up because I did watch the whole anime of Persona 4, the animation, and I finished that, and I already know what the ending is, basically who the killer is and all that. But playing the game is still very fun, and doing all the battles and stuff like that with my Persona and stuff like that. So I will see this game through, and I will beat it again, and or I will beat it for the first time, and I will enjoy it. I will be very pleased with it, and then I'll go on to maybe Persona 3 Reload. You know, maybe I'll start it up again because I forgot all about the story of Persona 3 Reload a little bit, and where I ended up. So maybe I'll just go back and restart that game again and start from the beginning and, you know, start playing it again. That's a possibility. But I'm thinking of doing that. We'll see. Because there's so many other games I got that I could be playing on my handheld than just tons of long RPGs, JRPGs. Notice all these games, a lot of these games, except for Ball X Pit so far, have been like long RPGs, JRPGs, stuff like that, and not just like smaller games that I could just play, beat, and go on. These are long games that take a long time to play and beat. So no wonder I'm not playing many new games and other games, because I'm just playing these long games that are taking me, a person like me that has a big long day all the time with work and all that, playing them and taking a long time doing that. So yeah. But it's fun. Persona 4 Golden, very fun. I'm sure the new Reload or Persona, if that's what they're calling it, Persona 4 Reload or whatever, is going to just be fine. This next game, I did a first gameplay of last week on for Saturday or something. Was it Saturday or Sunday I put it up? But it was one of those days. I played the new Life is Strange Reunion. I played it on my desktop PC here. I played the first beginning act or whatever it was, and it was fun. It was fun. It's a continuation of where we left off in Life is Strange Double Exposure. You still got the double exposure stuff going on with this game. I haven't heard too many people talking about this game or even doing any videos or anything that I know of. I don't know if people are even interested too much, and it's a sad shame because I do love these Life is Strange games, and I think Life is Strange Reunion is going to be a really good game for me to play. And I put it on my ROG Ally X so I can just play it on the handheld and play it while I'm sitting and laying on the couch or, like I said, in my bed or something. And I could just play Max and Chloe's story and Sophie, see if she comes back evil or not, and have some fun. Have some fun playing it, doing my searching and all that, photo stuff. It has some brand new handicap stuff for somebody like me, accessibility options where I can see where points of interest are, like where to take pictures, where to take the pictures for the game and stuff. So if I need to take some pictures to unlock achievements, certain achievements from the game, it helps me out. It helps me out finding certain areas and doing certain things. That's pretty cool. I like that. I like what they added to that, and I think it makes it a lot easier for me as a gamer to play that and not have to search for hours and stuff for stuff that I forget or don't understand. And I think Life is Strange Reunion is going to be a really kick-ass game. And seeing the newer Chloe, yeah, from blue hair to green hair, stuff like that, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting tale, and I cannot wait to see how this all wraps up. And like I said, I'm going to be playing this eventually again. I haven't played more than what I played on the first gameplay because, like I said, I am playing a lot of other games. I just wanted to try out a little bit of Life is Strange Reunion. Remember, I just beat and shown the last episode of Game Through with Life is Strange Double Exposure. So, I'm taking a little bit of break from Life is Strange. Then I'm going to go right back to and play this. And then eventually I'm going to go back to playing the original Life is Strange and Life is Strange Before the Storm because I have the remasters of those that are on the Xbox that I can play and have some fun with and get more achievements with and stuff like that because why not? Go back to the beginning and enjoy and have a little tear saying, oh, this is the last of the Life is Strange games, probably. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe they'll do some more on some other characters. I don't know. I don't think Life is Strange is a big franchise anymore. People get too nitpicky on these stuff. And I'm not one of those people. I embrace a lot of games. I try to embrace a lot of games. A lot of games that most people don't embrace, and people usually embrace a lot of other games, but I embrace these kinds of games because these are the kind of games that are right up my alley and are perfect for someone like me to play on a daily basis, So, but that's just me saying that. But Life is Strange Reunion looks beautiful, looks just like Double Exposure. And like I said, with all the extra accessibility features and stuff like that, it might make it a lot better for somebody that maybe you're like me and you just don't want to be searching for stuff for so long and you want to know what pictures to take and stuff. This will help you with that journey instead of you having to go look at the book and go back and take more photos and, stuff like that. It makes it a bit more of an easier lifestyle or playthrough for it. But like I said, we'll see when I get back into it officially. I left off in a good spot, so I remember what went on and what might go on in the future. So that's what I'm doing now. And then the final game, which I had to put on the board or on my note sheet here before at the last second, was PowerWash Simulator 2. I was actually just playing that before I just did this podcast, actually, because it's a fun game. And if you just want to relax and you're getting stuff ready and you're just doing a little power washing, that's really good. It really helps a lot. And it keeps you calm. It's just a nice, calm game. My ex would keep saying, why do you play a boring game that's involving more cleaning? don't you do enough cleaning at work and stuff and other stuff?" And I'm like, "Yeah, but this is power washing that you don't get wet from. This is power washing you do virtually." But she doesn't get it. She's not from this country or world, so who knows? But Power Wash Simulator 2 still going strong. They're still, I think they're thinking about making, like, they're working on a Power Wash Simulator 3 already. I don't know. I heard rumors. That a Power Washing Simulator 3 is on the books, and they're on working with it and stuff. And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, I'll wait till there's more real confirmation on that. But oh boy, yeah, what a fun game. So those were the games that I played in the past week. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So why don't we talk about the sad, depressing stuff for gaming wise, on how in this world everything is going up in price, everything's getting more expensive. You hear about it on all the news reports and all the podcasts and from all the mouths of gamers and gamettes out there, from all the people that host their own shows and podcasts saying about video games, going, "Oh my God, gaming hardware is very expensive," and it just doesn't make, for shortage, memory and storage shortages due to the big AI, which I hear is fumbling and bumbling right now. So you never know; it might fall at one point or another. But then there goes the stock market and everything else they're talking about. But it's not my problem. I don't have too much money in the stock market or anything like that, because stuff like this and stupid decision making from powerful corporations that think they're invincible and stuff like that, and they think they're the best, even though they're just playing themselves. And eventually that just all goes away, and then it's like, there goes the economy and down the toilet. But hey, whatever. Otherwise, gaming hardware, it's harder to be a gamer in 2026, especially if you're starting off. If you're young and you want that Switch 2, or you wanted to get into Xbox or something, or even late PC gaming, it is going to be difficult to get any of that stuff, except for maybe a Switch 2 right now, under $1,000. Everything is going up. PlayStation 5 and 5 Pro just went up. And, gaming hardware is becoming a premium, and it's premium priced, as they say. And people have been wondering, and people have been asking out there, analysts and all that, hey, are people going to still keep coming back to gaming and stuff if gaming keeps this road of getting more expensive, hardware based? We're not talking to software based yet, but hardware based gaming is more expensive due to the fact that everything's super expensive out there, so they have to raise the price of the consoles and all that, the other hardware and stuff. Will people that are new to gaming, or have been dabbling in gaming, but didn't know if they're going to buy a new gaming console, are they going to do that? And it's like, that's a hard question to answer. It depends on the person's affordability in general. If they have a decent job, whatever, if anything's going on in their life that's sucking money out of their pockets. If you're like me and you're single like me, and I own a house, I do my own stuff, but I'm in a good situation because I have a full-time job, even though it takes away from more of my gaming time, because my job isn't gaming, it's other stuff. And but still, I can afford to do what I can do, and I am very lucky to be able to still do what I want to do. Because if I didn't have this job, if I didn't own a house, I didn't do all that stuff, you probably wouldn't be seeing me here right now and hearing me, and I wouldn't be doing most of the stuff that I'm doing, because most of the stuff that I do, gaming wise, podcasting, video wise, costs a lot of money to do. Like I said, $300 fucking microphone, folks. I'm not trying to brag or anything, but $300 fucking microphone. Like I said, it's a beauty. It works way better than my regular mics. I sound better. I know, because I listen to myself now back in my podcast and stuff, and I'm like, wow, damn, Mr. Mike, you actually sound good. This microphone makes you sound good. So, yeah, but premiums are going up for hardware and all that stuff. Not even just memory and storage, just everything, plastics, this, that. And it's just gonna keep getting worse. I don't know if it'll ever get better. I don't know if it'll ever go down, or if this is just gonna be the new norm, and then we gotta just raise everything else up again. It's crazy. It's crazy. And I feel sorry for, like I said, the average to beginner gamers and people out there that want to get into gaming or get their kids into gaming, because it's just going to be really tough to buy something that isn't like a Switch 2 or something, because everything's so expensive, from consoles to gaming hardware to the software that you want to play the games on. Unless if you go into the sales, which is basically just get digital stuff. But then you need a good big hard drive or M.2 drive to store all that in. So it's a never ending cycle on that stuff. And when things like this PlayStation, we'll talk about this now. Let's get into here. I might, yeah, what was it gonna? Yeah, let me get into this now. I'll talk about this before the Disney and Epic Games fiasco, or Disney and Epic Games, which one's a fiasco, one's a question mark there. But Sony announced price raises finally. Finally, or yeah, it was inevitable, folks. I'm sorry. Even for you PlayStation 5 people, I think you PlayStation heads out there, I think you deserve better anyways. With the if you own the console already, I think you deserve better. I think you should have been getting more software for your console anyways. And I know they're working on that stupid PS6 that they don't need to make, but because it's Sony and it seems like they're turning into a Microsoft now, and they're not knowing what they're doing, and heads are rolling everywhere up there, that now they're in the same shitstorm territory as Microsoft, with now the new PS5 starting at $600 and the now PS5 Pro at $900, almost $1,000 for a console, in which if you bought a PlayStation 5 Pro, especially if you wanted to buy it now, doesn't do much of anything else in the games. It'll bump up certain games, but not everything. And it's how many of the games and titles is Sony putting out that will fully utilize that PlayStation 5 Pro? I don't think many at all. And people will come out, wow, Resident Evil Requiem. Well, that's only one game, and that's a third-party game. What about all the first-party stuff, folks? And don't tell me Wolverine, because Wolverine ain't out yet. So until Wolverine comes out, and that's just another one game, why aren't they popping out a bunch of games? Sometimes I ask that about Microsoft as well, especially when they got all the studios. So it's like, well, Microsoft, you have the studios, so where's all the games? Unless if they're all helping each other with games, which that always gets me a big question mark on my head. Why? I know that didn't look like a question mark at all, but why in the hell? And I understand some of the logistics on, oh, maybe this team will help out this team with their game because, this team isn't started on their game yet, or they're in early stages and whatnot, or they just want some extra help. And they're like, oh, how about you and you and you? Because you guys aren't doing anything. You jump over here and help these guys out over and Call of Duty land and stuff like that. And yeah, I don't know. But like I said, Sony couldn't wait any longer. Sony could not hold up or hold out. They had to start raising prices if they want to keep making some money off these consoles. And like I said, the PS5 and the PS5 Pro just went up. And yeah, that them on that high road saying, hey, we're still selling PS5s, and we're still like PlayStation's still one of the highest selling consoles, and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, yeah, but where's the games for it? And going forward, how are your sales going to do? Are they going to fall off a cliff now that these consoles are more expensive? And who hasn't purchased really a PS5 or PS5 Pro yet? that still needs one now. Now, in today's day and age, where you're waiting till the very last minute before this console goes maybe bye-bye in another couple years. Now, note, they will support it like Microsoft supports their Xbox for many years to come, but you're buying a more of a last-gen console because the next-gen console, when the PS6 comes out, will probably have even more features and stuff that might be interesting. So, I don't know. I'd like to know. But here they said starting today, as I'm recording this, actually, on the PS5 console price increase is effective starting April 2nd, 2026. Like I just said, PS5, PS5 Digital Edition, PS5 Pro, and PlayStation Portal. April 2026 price rises. So in the United States, it says PS5 is $649.99. PS5 Digital Edition is $599.99 or $600. So $650 for PS5, 600 for the PS5 Digital Edition because that doesn't come with a hard drive or a disk drive or anything. And for a PlayStation 5 Pro, it is $900. They do have UK, Europe, and everybody else, but yeah. Oh, and the PlayStation 5 Portal player starting is $250. So if you're wondering about the PlayStation Portal, it's going to be $250 for that little thing, which understandable that that little thing is whatnot. But yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of hardship there. That's a lot of sales are going to be going down for Sony and PlayStation, and it's not going to help them out too much. Not too much at all. Just like this other thing that's not going to help them out when we're finding out. And I know this has been like rumor, but this is becoming more and more of talk of the town lately, especially from other gaming podcasts and podcasters out there that I've been listening to. So PlayStation, and I think I mentioned this story once before, but I guess this is an official thing and it's been rolling out now. I don't know, but PlayStation controversial price increase officially rolls out. So basically, PlayStation's controversial new dynamic pricing system marks a significant shift in how digital content is valued and sold in the gaming industry by adjusting prices in real time based on factors like demand, player engagement, and market trends. Sony aims to create a more responsive and potentially profitable marketplace, but players aren't at all excited. Because, let me guess, they just, they don't want to spend all that extra money. And sometimes games are cheaper, and it depends on the person and what they find is maybe their bank wallet amount of money and stuff. There's a lot of variables on how they do their dynamic pricing and stuff and AI tools and bullshit like that. And I haven't really seen it. Maybe on Amazon I might have seen it, but I do this all the time anyways, like on Amazon or anywhere or Steam or something. I'll check a price. I'll wait a little bit. I'll check a price. I'll check information on the thing and whatnot. And then I'll go back, check a price again and stuff like that to just make sure. And then eventually I notice prices dropping for stuff because I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that or whatnot. And I would just hate it if I went on my Xbox one day and I'm like, well, my Xbox says this game is on sale for this much, but if I go to the Xbox App Store on my PC, which technically can happen because sometimes there's sales for only console-based versions of a game and not their PC versions of that same game. That's the kind of game that I usually just go away from anyways. But yeah, does it mean it's pricing discrimination, or does it just mean some people are going to get a deal and some people are not going to deal? That's the question. like I said, this has been, I guess, happening in other regions and, other countries and stuff. I haven't really seen that too much here in the United States. But apparently not all gamers are receiving the same rates and discounts on games throughout the platform, I guess. They're talking about one game, like with Astrobot being a prime example, while some gamers are seeing a nice discount in the United States markets for $26.99. Others will see the game listed for $39.59 in other regions. And I'm like, huh. That seems like a difference right there. And kind of sucks that somebody's getting a discount on that same exact game on the same exact day and stuff like that, and the other person's got to pay more for it. That is kind of controversial. It seems like it should be illegal too. I thought stuff like that might have been illegal and antitrust or something going on with that, because you would think that would be the possibility, because it's something that what was I going to say? I think I was going to say it is something that that a normal person or gamer would not, think about or look at, because you would think you would be getting the same price as everybody else. But in reality, it's just like jack of all trades of stuff, let's just say. Yeah, I'll end it there. I'll end this this part there, because it's just like, it just makes me feel like, oh, well, there we go. And I'm, like I said, I'm more still team Xbox right now, even though Microsoft did a lot to hurt the brand and beat it, shake it, beat it again, shake it again, drop kick it to the sewer and let some shit come out, and then pick it up again and say, hey, you're all right there, Xbox. You're all right. You're good. You're good in Microsoft's book. You're all right. Hey, Asha Sharma, doing an excellent job. Who's that other guy? Oh, okay. You're doing an excellent job. But now, with Microsoft doing their thing and Sony doing their thing, Microsoft Xbox has branded soon should have a good chance going forward. They got some opportunities and chances going forward to not fuck things up, not fuck things up with Windows-based gaming and stuff like that, not fuck things up with the Xbox Helix and stuff like that. Because if they get this stuff right and they get it working correctly, then we could see some really good stuff. We could see some really interesting stuff coming from the Helix Council in general, and maybe getting a whole new breed of gamers out there that will say, well, I can't afford a PC and a console. I can only afford one, and I don't really like playing on PC and stuff, but I do like some of their games and blah, blah, blah. But then you got to buy all the hardware and stuff for it. This has that hardware, this Helix system has that hardware, so you can play your PC games, keyboard and mouse or whatever controller. But then, you go back to just wanting to play something and whatnot, and you look at Sony's side and you look at Xbox's side, and you're like, well, who has the most games? Who does the most backwards compatibility with their games? That'd be on Xbox's side. So what's going on with PlayStation and their side? I don't know. But that's how it's going. That's how it's basically been going. And hey, that's where the cookie crumbles, I guess. Like I said, I can tease, I can go, haha, look at you guys. You were on your high horse this whole time. Now, look, you got to pay high prices too. It's not just Xbox and their console. It's both. Sony just held out longer because Microsoft proper didn't, they were fucking things up with AI. They were in bed fucking AI consistently, leaving the poor little Xbox Series console to wither and cry in the corner as it was trying to please them. And every time it tried to please big bad evil Satan Nadella up there on Microsoft Hill, he just kept kicking it back down that hill and going, no, I'm fucking big bad PlayStation here. I'm doing that. Or I'm sorry, he's he's fucking AI. Excuse me. He's effing AI all the time. And now that there's kind of maybe backing away a little bit over Microsoft, just a little bit. There's still about AI, but a little bit. And they said they're going to make Windows better. Maybe. We'll see. Not that I have any problem with Windows. I've been using Windows 11 for a long time now. I have not really had any issues with updates or anything like that. Now, no, my computer is just custom built. The only thing I do have a problem that it is not working correctly after the updates. I can mention this. After the updates, and it's the same thing with my living room little mini computer that I have in the living room because that runs Windows 11 as well. The only thing that an update did to fuck up my computer, so I'm wrong on this, there is one thing that fucked up my computer. It's only a little minor thing. It's when I want to go and put this to sleep. Before the update, I was able to easily put this computer to sleep and it would just shut down. And then you would see the little flashy light on there saying, hey, it's ready to boot up again if you wanted to. Nothing would be running, no fans, no nothing, anything at all. When it is now it's a different story. And yeah, enough of that. I hope that the next consoles could maybe potentially fix things a little bit better. I have no real praise for that because of hardware and costs and stuff like that. With everything going up, I don't see that, but and I'll talk more about this in the Xbox talk and news and stuff like that, but it's kind of helping me to consider maybe getting another console after this, maybe getting that next gen console, even though I said I wouldn't. But if it has a few things and it can do a few things, then maybe I can get it. But I'm not guaranteeing anything, but we'll talk about it in a little bit. So also some good news here for you Sony fanboys that has PlayStation Plus still. It still plays for Sony's PlayStation Plus. Monthly games for April of 2026 are out. So they got for your April's, I guess, what does this say? Sony's offerings for next month, which will be available to claim from Tuesday, April 7th until Monday, May 4th. So yeah, these games are going to be up and out, and it's not yet, but it will be soon. And basically, they got Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. So the ones that did not look or work very well. Let's see here. So Lords of the Fallen. Okay, so Lords of the Fallen. So they got Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. Lords of the Fallen, and Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream. Don't know what those other games are. I do know what Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered is, and I know that was a shit-like type of game. Don't know these other games. But, people like to cover back to that stuff. They like to go and buy that stuff, and it's just like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that to yourself? I don't know. I don't think, like I said, I don't even think these games are a good lineup. Shit, you know what we got on our lineup that we got for Xbox Game Pass that just came in? We got that new brand new Super Meat Boy 3D game that people have been raving about. We got that. We got a bunch of other games that came on there that I don't somewhat recognize on some of them. And some of them I look at, I'm like, oh, that might be cool to play. But yes, we got brand new games and stuff that are jumping up on the Game Pass bandwagon. But Sony's side, not so hot. Not so hot when they're sad. No. Nope. Yeah, so continuing on, folks. Like I said, I was teasing a little bit talking about how now I'm thinking when gaming and consoles and all that and PC hardware are becoming more of premium over time, and more likely than ever, we will not be seeing lesser in pricing and stuff like that. My main prediction on that, going forward, if memory and storage prices do not fall back to down to a norm or get cheaper over time, even though I guess I'm hearing a lot of these big AI server companies are not fulfilling their contracts or not being able to pay stuff like that. I've been hearing behind the scenes, like the money's getting tight on all ends of the spectrum, that um, there's more supply in the supply chain coming, but very little. But who knows what's going to happen if somebody else will buy up that part of the supply in the supply chain. And it's not just like you can take whatever they make for memory or storage on one side and pop it into like a console or a computer on the other side right away. You know, they got stuff that needs to be done with that shit. Um, but even so, whenever this new project Helix from Xbox comes out, maybe this could help out both worlds a little bit. This could help out a lot of stuff. Even though it's going to be, like they said before, a premium product, and it'll probably also be that premium price as well. And it's also a console PC hybrid. I predict now, because as I'm thinking more and more about it over time, which you would think I would have thought of this like right away, because before I right away, I'm like, yeah, I got a PC, I got a console, I don't really need that. But now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, well, this could be really good. So as I look harder into it, I'm like, you know, if a person, doesn't matter, younger, older, whatever. If they're thinking about wanting to get into gaming or whatnot, like I've been saying before, or if they're wanting to, you know, continue gaming or whatnot, but they're like, because all the costs and all the pricing and the fact that, oh, if I get a console, that's not going to be playing, that won't be able to play everything, especially on Xbox's side if they don't offer it. But now with this Helix, pretty much they're going to be able to offer most of it, except for Nintendo stuff. Unless if you ROM hack it, and I don't know if the Xbox Helix will play ROM hacked games or anything like that. I don't know. That's a question right there. So I'm thinking now, okay, if you're a gamer and you want to get the most out of your system, and maybe you're not the biggest PC person out there, but maybe you want to learn to get into the PC gaming more and see what that is offering you. And you want to try out all their storefronts, which Microsoft, Xbox has stated they're trying to get a lot of these PC storefronts onto this console as well. They want their stores to be on this upcoming console as well, so they could say, hey, we got everybody's offering. We're offering more than just our Xbox store side of things. We're going to offer other people's store side of things and all. And I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. I'm thinking of this more, which, like I said, I should have thought about this day one, but I'm thinking, if you're a person and you have limited money to spend, and you know the PlayStation 6 is going to be a super powerful console, but a very super powerful price as well, especially when they're going to try to sell you also a handheld maybe, which they haven't really spoken too much about, but we do hear that they were working on a new PlayStation handheld. And then you got the Switch, which, you know, none of those games are going to go on any of these consoles, but understandably. But then you got the PC side of things, which is like, oh, we got still a ton of games coming out for Steam and Epic and PlayStation, you know, or on the PC side of the storefront. I'm not saying PlayStation really, because they're basically getting out of most of PC games making anyways from their side of things, because they think, oh, it's not profitable. And then they say, oh, no, we want these exclusives again. Because, you know, Sony's going back in time now, and they think it's all about the exclusives again, and they thinking it's their hardware is the beast, because they think, oh, we're on top right now, and Microsoft's still on the bottom, and they're never going to catch up to us, so we're going to just keep charging our premium prices, and we're going to, you know, give you what we give you in games, and then we're also going to, you know, keep these games behind our our fake shield a gate again and say, hey, these are only can be played on PlayStation. You know, it's all about the PlayStation. You know, and they don't want to dilute their whole PlayStation brand because they're putting games out on a PC. Which, here's the thing: if people are going to buy your games, no matter what, and they're going to buy them on a PlayStation, they would have already bought it already. And two, when you release that eventually down the road on PC, then you would think that you'd just be making up even more money of that money, right? Like when GTA is going to release this year only on consoles, but down the road in 3 to 5 years, they're going to release GTA 6 on PC after that. And then us suckers like me is going to all go out and buy it again just because we want to buy it again and play it on PC to get the better graphics and all that. And then they got us again. So I don't know why Sony doesn't want to do that. And then you see Microsoft, they're just releasing their games now on both console and PC because they're like, fuck exclusives, fuck everything. We're just trying to sell games and make some money over here. So they got their business strategy going. And I'm like, well, as a gamer, and as a gamer that might want to dip into the PC market, playing market a bit, because I know they got a lot of games, and like I said, I'm sure the Helix is going to allow you to have a keyboard and mouse to be able to attach to it or wirelessly have with it if you want to play keyboard, or use the keyboard and mouses for gameplay, because a lot of the PC games you still got to use a keyboard and mouse. Not every game supports controller, unfortunately, or if it's one of those games that is too big for a controller, too many control settings and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, well, then you don't have to decide or choose, because if a game is coming out for the console and it's coming on the Xbox, or Microsoft's putting out their games on the Xbox and stuff, which they put out also on PC as well, but you're like thinking, well, I could play all my favorite Xbox games on this Xbox Helix, or the PC versions of them if you want to do that. I don't know what the difference would be, because if the graphics are going to be sort of the same because it's coming from the same device and the same machine, and hopefully you're still going to get the same graphics no matter what edition you would choose off of that, okay, whatever. But once you do, you're like, okay, I got these games that are coming out from Microsoft's gaming studios or Xbox gaming studios. And then now I got this whole PC market that's opening up to me now on the same device, depending on how they let you format, or if you get to put in M.2 drives, which I'm hoping Microsoft will let you do this time. I don't know. It's taken them how many consoles to let us maybe eventually put in our own M.2 drives? Because if they're going to just do their own proprietary memory, this thing is dead in the water. Then this thing is dead. I'm telling you. Microsoft, Xbox, allow the consumer base put in their own M.2 drive, or drives. If you want to put in like 2 slots, that'd be even better. And then you could still sell, like I said the last time, still sell and allow us to put in our memory card storage units in the back of it, but let us put in M.2 drives in there, our own. So if we want to get up to an 8 terabyte M.2 drive and stick it in this fucking new machine, because it's going to be part Xbox, part PC, you better let us fucking do that. Because if you don't, then people aren't going to want to buy it, because they're going to be like, well, how are we going to get all this extra storage to play our PC games? And I'm saying it's dead in the water. That's when I would say it would be dead in the water. But hopefully, if the people over there in Xbox Central, over there at Xbox Microsoft, are smart enough and they're not just saying, well, we'll partner up with these guys and have more storage and stuff. Fuck that. No. Put in an M.2 drive slot in your machine so we could put our own storage in there, and we can add as much as we want. You could put in a terabyte or 512 or whatever bullshit you want to put in there, solid state, whatever. Then let us put in another a bunch of terabytes with our M.2 drives, and let us do it that way. And it makes things a whole lot easier, because like I said, this is half a PC console. So you're going to need that extra storage space, especially if you're running one half Windows and one half an Xbox operating system. That's that Jekyll and Hyde kind of thing going on there. But here's the great thing. If it works out that way, and a gamer was like, well, I can't use this as a PC, meaning I don't think they're going to let you install software to do Microsoft Word and stuff on there. I was like thinking that would be great if they could. They might. You never know. They could still let you do that. You know, they might still try to get you to say, hey, do you want to subscribe to Office 365 and you could do your Word documentation on this console as well? Because it's all console and a PC. So you never know if they might let you do that as well. I don't know. I don't know how far they will go with that. It might just be a more lockdown PC, you know, that they'll let you do certain things like Steam OS or something like that, where it's just like big storefronts with many storefronts on it, you know, big hub with many storefronts, and you can download the PC games right there, and you don't have to worry about all the installation and stuff. It does it all right there easily for you, and you just click yes, okay, whatever. Understandable. But if it works that way, and then that person goes, well, I only got a limited budget, but here's a box that does both, so I can attempt to try out PC gaming, get into basic early PC gaming, because this machine will hopefully be able to do 4K and all that, and maybe some decent ray tracing and stuff. And this might be the most decent computer / console on the market, even though it's going to be a premium price. It's probably going to be priced over $1,000. But then you're getting two things in one. You're getting the console and you're getting this so-called PC hybrid system going on. And thousands and hundreds of thousands of games to be able to be played on it from many different situations and companies and stuff. So I think the overall experience will be a little bit overwhelming to some, but I think it will be a lot better to most, because you'll be able to have that choice. The choice when where you want to play your game, where you want to purchase your game, and how much that purchase is going to be and all that. And the fact that you can do that over here, but you can't do it on a PlayStation, because that's all locked down and still proprietary, and you can't do that on a Switch, and you might not want to be playing games on a Switch, you know, on their hardware, because you're like, well, it's still not enough for what power I want. At least with this, you get the best of both worlds. You get the option to choose. So they're taking the Switch approach, but they're changing it up. Instead of giving you a handheld with a screen that you could pop into a dock and make it a console, you're just turning a console and making it also a PC. So you're doing the same Switch approach, but you're doing it just with the hardware that still hooks up to a TV and stuff. And then I'm thinking, if I got this, and like I said, for me, maybe for me, because I got to see what this is all about. We all got to see what this is all going to be about, what hardware is going to be in there. If we can put in our own M.2 drives, because like I said, that is going to be the deal breaker right there. If they don't say, hey guys, gals, you will be able to put in your own storage, your own M.2 storage in this M.2 slot or slots. If they don't say that and they say, well, we got our own onboard memory, you can use this memory card thing and stuff, then it's dead in the water. I'm going to say it right now, then it's dead in the fucking water. But if they allow me to put an M.2 drive in a slot, or two or more, they could probably do two, but one would be okay as well, and I could put in up to 8 terabytes in that sucker, then you got me. Then you might got me again. Then Microsoft will have me one more time. And the reason being, even though I got a super expensive PC here, and I got a great console in the living room right now, but with that being all next gen, and hopefully that will be a more premium product because it'll be more PC-like, and it's going to have more PC components in there, and they're going to be higher end, and they'll do the ray tracing, they'll do everything else. They'll be able to play probably all my library, or at least most of my gaming library in it. That would mean if I want to do my game streams and all that stuff, I could dedicate to this computer 100% on this computer as a streaming machine, and then bump up the graphics and all that stuff to max on that machine and play all my PC games, all my stuff, and beat the shit out of that machine just for only games running on that from that machine. And then this machine could just be only a streaming machine going forward, if you got my drift. Because then if I'm playing games like Teardown or something, that's going to be on that other machine. That won't be on this machine. So it'll be like me having my second PC that I want, that I was talking about, like other people do, where they have their secondary PC. One is a capturing streaming machine, and then the second one is the game playing machine. That's what I would have. And if I can have it that way, and I could be able, well, I'm going to play this Xbox game on that from that console to here, and I could play on this TV like I do now from my Xbox console hooked up to my computer here now. Or I'm like, oh, I'm going to play a PC game. So I just pull out my wireless keyboard and mouse, because of course it's going to be able to sync with that computer in the living room, because I'm only across from there. I can play my PC games here as well. And then this machine can just be dedicated to streaming it out to you people out in the world, or just capturing in the best high quality ever, not utilizing too much GPU and CPU. And then, okay, occasionally I'll just play on this computer, but mostly I'm be like, shit, I can just play out there, or I could play my PC games in the living room if I want to, and not worry about having to hook up a special PC unit in there, get this PC to work in there. It just makes things a lot more up my alley, gaming and PC wise. And after thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, would I be willing to spend $1,300 on this new console PC hybrid? Yes. If it's more than that, we'll see. But I'm thinking it would be something around there. I'm thinking it would be something around $1,300. I don't know. I just pulled that amount out of my ass. I know that still sounds like a lot of money to most people, and it is, unless if they go $999.99 like they did with the Xbox ROG LAX. But I don't know, with computer components and parts being what they are. Unless if you don't get that attached disk drive and stuff. And like I said, if they don't pop in, like, if they let you pop in your own M.2 drive and stuff, and they just put 512 gigabytes in the system, or a terabyte, and it's just utilized between both the operating systems in there, or single operating. I don't know how that operating system is going to do, but we'll see how that works with that PC Xbox hybrid. But if they let me do that way, and like I said, I don't need a disk drive in there going forward, because it could all be digital. But if they can sell, like Sony does, sell an attachment to that if I want a Blu-ray drive in there, and then maybe eventually I'd get that. But otherwise, I'd be like, cool, I could get this system, could get it for $1,000 or $1,299 or whatever it is. Put it in my living room, and I got myself a PC Xbox in my living room that I can play games on in here and whatnot, or on my TV that are PC and Xbox. Now, like I said, I got an Xbox already, but this would be more powerful with the PC attached to it. And who knows? Like I said, I could still say no and just be happy with this, but would they and I think Microsoft would still support the Series X for a long time coming, but going forward, if they want everybody to be able to program all their games for the next gen system, then yeah, they're gonna want to utilize that and say, hey, all our games going forward from now and beyond is gonna mostly be for PC / Helix games and stuff, because we're making the programming a lot easier, so people can program for this to put their games out for this Helix. Either it's a PC game or an Xbox game, and it's not going to matter, and it's going to have the achievements and all that. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know, but that sounds good in my mind. And boy, if that's what it can happen in my mind, then so be it. Let it be in my mind. But like I said, maybe we'll find out this summer more details on the Helix. But I don't know if we'll hear about any specs or anything until like a year or something out. When's this supposed to come out? 2027 end of, or 8, maybe, depending. because it's definitely not coming out in 2026, that's for sure. But 2077 end of, or 2028 sometime. That's what we're thinking and hearing from people. Which, you know what, farther the better for me, and I would say for you guys, because then you, like I said, start saving up those pennies, folks. You know, if you really might think you might be interested in one of these new consoles or whatever, or this Helix, this PC Xbox hybrid, start putting away like $20 here, $20 there, you know. Don't always have to get that $20 cup of coffee and stuff from Starbucks. You could just go, I'll take this 20, I'll put it in an envelope, or I'll put it somewhere, you know, and then I'll save up throughout the year or two. And then when they finally announce the console and what it's priced at and when it's coming out, you should probably be able to have a chunk of change ready for buying that next generation console and maybe a game or something. I don't know. That's what I do. I do that all the time as well. I put some money away, and then down the road, I'm like, oh, this new device came out, or this new console's coming out. Hey, I'll just drop some of this change down and take some of this, put it in the bank, and there you go. I got a $500 off or something, or $1,000 off or something, you know? Simple as that. I don't know. Things aren't simple for most people. For me, I try to make things simple. Okay, so before we get into, let's see here. Oh, and yes, before I end talking about this, one more thing. And like I said before, if this like PC console hybrid is a good thing and it works well, then that means you don't have to decide between a PC or Xbox or something like that. You can get your console and your PC gaming on at the same time. And like I say, you could go to, if you could go to Steam stores, the Epic Store and all that, you can buy games where you want to and get the sales that you want to. And it's all in one machine compared to a PlayStation where you can only get your games from Sony and PlayStation on there and whatever third party that puts games on that system. Same with Nintendo. So I think the offerings for the Helix are sounding even better every time I'm talking about them in my head, when I'm thinking about it. And when I'm hearing these other podcasters and gamers out there talking about this stuff, and I'm like, you know what? This console sounds a little cooler every time I hear about it, even though I don't know if this is going to exist the way I think it's going to exist, and the way that I think it's going to exist could be totally different from what Microsoft is doing. And on top of that, the price point. But like I said, premium price for this thing when you're getting two things in one, and if they do it right, like I said, got to put an M.2 drive in that sucker. Then they got it. Then they got me again. Yeah, but before we get into the games news, just wanted to tell you, as this podcast goes out today, I will have some of my games. You know, I'll do my Let's Plays. Or wait, is it going to be a Minecraft Mining? Yeah, I think it's Minecraft Mining Mayhem this Wednesday. This Friday, though, I am not going to be live streaming. I know. Hold on.
Dude, go fuck yourself.
I know, Carmen. It sucks, don't it? I'm
Dude,
sorry.
go fuck yourself.
I know. You're so angry.
Dude, go fuck yourself.
No. Yeah, you got it all going on there.
Game over.
No, it's not game over. No, I'm still going to have a video on Friday this week. I promise you. I know I'm recording it Thursday, but I'm talking for the future here. So this upcoming Friday, folks, I am not going to be live streaming it at my 8 p.m. Eastern time, regular time. It's going to be a video going up. I'll have it up during the day. But I'm not going to be doing a live stream because I have to get to bed early that day, because I have to wake up extra early on Saturday because I got to take somebody to the airport at like 3 in the morning, 3:30 a.m. in the morning, so they can get on a plane. So in order for me to be able to do that and be able to drive to the airport, not that the airport's too far from my house, but still, I need some sleep. So I can't be staying up to stream till like 10 or 11 at night, you know what I mean? And then go to sleep for a little bit and wake up and be able to consciously drive a vehicle. So this upcoming Friday, I will not be doing any live streaming as of that. And I'm just looking here. So that's not this. Yeah, this upcoming Friday. So that would be the podcast. This podcast comes out the 6th. So that'd mean the 10th. So the 8th will have a video, which will be Minecraft Mining Mayhem. The 10th will be a GameOn recorded GameOn session. So it's going to be a recorded GameOn. I think I'm going to do some trucking. I'm thinking I'm doing some trucking for that one. Don't quote me on that, but I think I'm doing some trucking for that. And then, of course, the next following week after that, we will have podcast. I'll have my podcast on the 13th and stuff like normal. It should be somewhat normal. The 17th, I should be back to streaming again. But we'll talk about that on the podcast. That's why I do like doing podcasts and having them out on Mondays. Yeah, but like I said, got stuff going on. Got to take a person to the airport. You know, it's just the timing and stuff like that. So that's the only reason why I'm not going to have my normally scheduled program at 8 p.m. Eastern, but you will get something that day. You will get a nice GameOn session, depending on how much trucking I do. I will try to do a lot of trucking. I'll try to give you a nice, big, good trucking session because I just got all that DLC for American Truck Simulator. I want to play it. I am eagerly interested in playing it. And then probably the following week after I do the trucking recorded video, you never know. Maybe the following week, maybe I'll be streaming because I know I said Assassin's Creed, but maybe I'll be doing some more trucking on that Friday. Maybe it'll be a few trucking, American Truck Simulator trucking driving days. Because getting this new DLC is making me excited to truck again. It's been a little while since I played any trucking. So, yeah, get ready for that. And like I said, if you want to see all the latest updates and whatnot, just check out OldFreakyGamer.com and go to the schedule. Go click on the schedule tab, and you'll see the scheduling for what's coming up in my, day-to-day video routine and stuff here on the website and podcasts and stuff. So, yeah, that was just a little show note I had to put on there. I got to put this in the show notes as well. I forgot to write it down, but hey, I can type this in any old time. But yeah. So it's going to be very nice here when a certain rentee isn't going to be here for a little while, and I got my house to myself again. I get to be a somewhat bachelor again. I said I'm single, but it doesn't mean I don't got a certain somebody in my house living with me. Complicatedness, folks, complicatedness, but still, all in all, I'll be in bachelor heaven. But I also got other stuff I'm planning. Weeks after, I got some construction projects, depending on weather and stuff that I'll be doing throughout the week. So you never know what might happen on that stuff. And plus, I also this upcoming Tuesday, so the day after this podcast, I don't know for 100% sure. I'll see how it's going, how tickets are costing, or if they're full or whatnot. I'll see. But I plan, not for a fact, but I plan this Tuesday after this podcast, that's tomorrow, as you're hearing this and watching this, I do plan on seeing that new Mario Galaxy movie. I do plan on seeing that. I am very, very interested in it. It's doing very well in theaters right now. It's making blockbuster money right now. I am definitely planning to see it on Tuesday. And you're probably wondering, why Tuesday, Mr. Mike? Why did you pick Tuesday? Well, because my local Regal Theater, and I'm sure it's maybe other Regal Theaters as well, but my local Regal Theater on Tuesdays is half price ticket Tuesdays and popcorn and all that stuff. So I get to go to the theater a lot cheaper on Tuesday in the afternoon. And if I get out of work early, I could go see the movie earlier. So that is my plan for Tuesday. That is my plan. So yeah, that's what I got going forward. So everybody, why don't we get in and we get into some more news talk here with the Games Talk News. That is the Games Talk News. And then we could talk about, the whole Disney thing maybe going on, this rumor and stuff, and about Epic Games and some Epic Game news, and then some Xbox Game Talk news, and we're gonna call that a podcast then. So we're gonna do all that stuff. Next, and you won't notice a thing, but I do notice. So that's all coming up next, folks. Yeah. The Gamez Newz Now. Yeah. Yeah, folks. Don't adjust your TV screens if you're watching this. No, it's still me. Yeah. Okay, enough of that. Whoa, no, enough of you. Enough of you. Yes, like I said, don't adjust your screens. This is still me, folks. I am just redoing the second part of the podcast because, and luckily it's only the gaming part that I'm redoing because I lost it. I don't know what happened to it. I recorded it. I lost it. So yes, I look totally different right now. And yeah, as you can see, I got a haircut from part 1 to now. And I am wearing a different shirt because this is a different day. Different shirt, different day. Different haircut. Different look. Yes, more bald. So don't adjust your screens. You're not imagining things. I'm not doing this as a creative anything. Like I said, I just lost the Gamez News part of the podcast, but that's okay because I still have the news. I saved the news. The news got saved. Lots of gaming news got saved for the podcast, for the show. So do not worry. And to kick it off, why don't we kick off with the best of the Gamez News now talk, or not. Depends how you feel about it. I am going to the world of not, but because okay, let's kick off with start off with how basically Epic Games seems to be in trouble. A big company, private company like that, owned by CEO Tim Sweeney, just laid off 1,000 people, 1,000 souls that were working on Fortnite, the Unreal Engine, and many other probably projects and other stuff in the company got laid off because, him and his company and his management spent tons of money on tons of shit. A lot of projects that did not pan out, the lawsuit against Apple and Google and stuff like that. And yeah, I guess spending is more than they were intaking. Apparently, Fortnite is not making as much money as they want it to. But it's not doing bad, but it's just not doing gangbusters as it used to, apparently. As Tim Sweeney had stated. And apparently the company was estimated to be bringing in per year $6 billion. That's $6 billion with a B, billion dollars per year. But unfortunately, they don't know how to save money in that company, apparently. So they were spending significantly way more than they were bringing in, apparently. And a downturn in Fortnite engagement, which means less V-Bucks being bought and all that. And that's why they probably raised the V-Buck prices and stuff. But he's like, I had to let people go because, I can't control my spending in the company. Me and my other management teams can't control our spending. We don't know how to make proper business plans, apparently, to keep things in the black, and we're getting them in the red because we suck as management. Just like a lot of other businesses out there that suck is because of management, bad management. There's a lot of bad managers out there. Let's just say that the manager business is a very bad business. I gotta say that, and so that's why Tim lays off 1,000 peeps and blames it all on Fortnite, even though it's still making them a ton of money. And I'm sure, the Unreal Engine's making them a shit ton of money as well. But yet, I guess that's not enough nowadays, especially when you're getting in damn, if I got in 0.002 whatever percent, I'm just doing some shitty bad math in my head. If I got 0.002% or whatever of that $6 billion a year in my pocket, damn. Let's see. I got to do some shitty math here. I got my calculator here. So if I, this is going to be, oh shit. Let's see here. 6 billion. 1, 2, 3. That's 1,000 million billion. Okay, that's 6 billion. Now, would I divide that or multiply that by? I think I got to multiply. Do you got to do that weird thing on that? Times 0.00. I said 2. On that would equal to. Oh, that's $12 million. Okay. Shit, that's way more money than I ever needed right there. See, if I was, like I said, $6 billion a year, folks. And if I was to get 0.002% of that, I'd have $12 million, it says here. 12 million. 12 million. That's a lot of money. I could live very good with the $12 million in my pocket just with 1 year. And these guys were making $6 billion and they're still doing bad. That means, like I said, bad management, bad ownership. So right now they're doing the layoffs, and Fortnite is not as profitable as they would. And a lot of people were thinking, oh, well, that sounds like a great opportunity for somebody to maybe want to buy them. Maybe they're doing this for an acquisition of the company or something, like Ubisoft's been doing and other companies like EA has been doing. Mostly EA. Ubisoft has not really. They sold off, I think, part of their company, or they partnered with the Saudis. I don't know anymore. There's a lot of weird turmoil and stuff. Like, let's just say Activision Blizzard to Microsoft, But a strong rumor, I guess, has stated that possibly Disney, Disney, the house with the mouse. Yeah, that Disney is reportedly keen on purchasing the Fortnite developer Epic Games, but is waiting for the correct right moment to do so. Meaning what? That Tim Sweeney buries the company of Epic Games, like that company gets so buried in debt or whatever that Disney will just come in and swoop it up for a few $1 million or something. Is that what? I don't know. What are they waiting for the right moment for? First off, Disney had their chance multiple times. Multiple times. They were in the gaming business for a very long time. Very long time. They've been in it longer than most of you have been alive. Even if you didn't think so, they were. And every time they've been in it, and multiple people said the same thing on their podcast, they keep getting bored. They keep fucking it up. For the past couple times, the most recent times, they gave it up, pushed it off to other people, then started making games themselves for a little bit. And then they're like, oh, no, we're closing down like Avalanche Studios. They had Avalanche Studios at one point in time, and they closed that down. And they shut that down, let everybody go, said, we're going to out of the gaming business. We're going to just license our IPs to third parties like EA and everybody else. And you know how well that went for most games. Like I said, that Star Wars Outlaws game is a fantastic game, and I got to get back into that game. But all in all, Disney's a gigantic corporate entity. And for them to purchase now an Epic Games studio with the tech that is Unreal Engine, which is probably worth more to Disney than probably the whole rest of that company, gaming-wise, whatnot, because as stated by most people, the Unreal, I think it's 5 engine now, is used amongst a lot of video makers out there, movie makers, video makers. It is a very powerful video motion picture tool as well, not just for gaming, but for in the film industry. Unreal is used as well, which is pretty funny. It's pretty surprising that a gaming tool that is supposed to be for making high-end looking video games to make video games look really good and realistic like is being used in the world of filmmaking as well, but it is. And for Disney to be able to purchase and take control of that entity, I think would be the biggest mistake out of anybody's thing. Not only would Disney just fuck that all up and fuck up the whole Unreal Engine and shit like that, plus they probably wouldn't really invest in that engine too much, you know, because they're a giant corporation and things are limited. Plus the whole fact that they've been bouncing in and out of gaming for a while now. I would have to say no to letting Disney purchase Epic Games as of right now. You know, Disney has not shown good faith for a while with their latest acquisitions and stuff. And you know what? I was all for them buying Fox and the rest of the Marvel licenses. Well, not the rest, because Sony still has the Spider-Man and some people, but you know, get all the Fox things like, you know, the Fantastic Four and X-Men and stuff like that. I was all for them buying Fox because Fox, I think, Fox Studios was financially hurt or whatever at the time. They weren't doing super well. So them purchasing them, also getting, you know, a lot of legendary filmmaker James Cameron's stuff, you know, all his stuff included with that as well, you know, like Titanic, the Avatar films and stuff, which probably helps them out greatly with that stuff. And getting a filmmaker like him to go over to the Disney side to make films for under their umbrella just helps. But, you know, for them making Marvel films and stuff like that, they weren't doing so hot. So, like I said, I was all for Disney, and I was always rooting for Disney to purchase all that, get this, and Star Wars. I forgot about Star Wars, Marvel, Star Wars, all that stuff. I was all for them doing that. I thought that was great for them on that point, and at the time they were just coming out with Disney Plus and all that. At the time, you know, things were going good before the COVID storm that was COVID, and Bullshit City came after that, and old man in the White House and shit like that started fucking up the world and the United States and everything else, and everything went to shit. And now it's just, I don't know if we'll even dig up the bones left in the wake of all that stuff. But anyway, as of right now, I don't think Disney is in any good terms of purchasing anything else like that. Who would be the best owner, or I don't know, what do you say? Best owner and curator for Epic Games for the future, for gaming and all that, and for the Unreal Engine. And you guys are going to hate me for this, and you're going to say, hey, you're a fanboy. I would have to say Microsoft and Xbox. And I know you guys are all going to go, oh, you're just saying that because you like Xbox so much. And well, here's the thing. Even though Microsoft has not been the best with running shit lately, but at least I guess it seems like they're trying to clean fucking things up after Satya Nadella went a little crazy, and the upper management and CFO and all them and shareholders went crazy on the AI bullshit. They're still doing the AI bullshit, but it seems like maybe they're hampering that down across the board a little bit so they can keep customers and make money. And then you got the Asha Shara lady that is now running Xbox after Phil Spencer's unsettling demise. Well, he didn't die, but you know, and people still say, well, he wasn't really forced out of the company. I don't know. I think he was forced out by many means. But otherwise, him stepping back from the gaming business, and Asha Shara, who was not even a part of anything in any gaming business, stepping up and being the new CEO of Xbox. She needs all the wins she can get, and some of the stuff that she's been talking about, probably getting help from Matt Booty and stuff like that, and of course Phil Spencer, because he's still kind of around in the behind the scenes, helping her out before he fully leaves her and leaves the company behind. He's still like being the point man, getting everything settled and working, because he's a good company guy. So she needs some more wins, and she's been sounding like she's got the right approach to what these wins are going to be, like the whole thing with the future of Xbox and stuff like that, and trying to we got to make Game Pass cheap again, and maybe we'll bundle Netflix with Xbox Game Pass and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that means, because, Netflix keeps raising the prices all the time. If you got Game Pass Ultimate or something, or whatever you get the Netflix subscription with, you don't have to worry about those price hikes because it's all bundled in with your shit. So yeah, you get to avoid all that. So that sounds like a good play right there if that ever goes through. But thinking about it, and thinking about how the company and everything inside of the Xbox division was using tons of different engines, and now everybody across the board seems like they're all doing Unreal now, or they're all sort of going to Unreal. And the Xnay, the whole Bethesda say, because they got the id software and id tech and all that, but mostly like the Halo's going Unreal. Gears of War has always been Unreal. Bunch of other studios are Unreal now, which is surprising that they're not trying to push the id tech thing more. But I'm thinking, because of everybody going Unreal, and you got all these Unreal people knowing what they're doing there. I hate to say it, I think Microsoft and Xbox would be the best bet and the best home for that tech, for the Unreal tech, because they were supportive of it. They were actually the ones that bought, the Gears franchise from Epic Games and Tim Sweeney and all of them. So they actually have, and they've been having a good partnering history for a long time now. Even, Tim Sweeney said, hey, our Epic Game Store is going to be one of the very first stores on that new Helix console, because they're going to be able to put their PC storefront on there, the Epic Game Store. So it seems like there's some good partnerships going on between the two. And I'm thinking, well, Microsoft still has that big bag of cash and the stocks and money on hand and all that, even though they try not to, even though they're spending it willy-nilly on the AI, and they still don't want people to think that they have cash or not. I don't know what the whole thing is, or they're strapped for cash or whatever. I don't know. But when I'm thinking, if they were to put a bid in for Epic Games and get Epic Games and whatever games and Fortnite, because imagine them owning Fortnite on top of, Call of Duty and everything else. That would be pretty big. That'd be pretty big for them. Now, would it work out? I don't know. A lot of people with Call of Duty are like, it's not working out with Call of Duty. But you got to remember, they just recently got Activision Blizzard. So all those Call of Duty titles like Black Ops 6, 2, or 7, or whatever it was, lastly, that didn't do fine, that was already in the works. That was already being made. And that was decisions still already made before Microsoft Xbox had been able to take over that company. So you can't blame them with I almost said God of War, but for the Call of Duty franchise. Maybe things will change around this upcoming time around and stuff like that, because there's now that Microsoft and Xbox fully owns, trying to think of the names now, Activision Blizzard and stuff like that. They can start making some better, clear decisions and stuff like that within those companies, and what games they're going to be making and stuff, and how those games are going to be made, including Call of Duty. So I'm not calling them out on that, on the whole, like everybody else is saying, oh my God, Microsoft and Xbox are screwing up Call of Duty already and it's going away. No, it was already fucked up enough. They're, so give them a little bit more breathing room on that. We'll wait and see when the next Call of Duty gets announced and shown, and see if they change the tides of that or not. But the whole thing is, I think that if they took over, Epic Games, Fortnite, and got that Unreal Engine, I think they would be the best stewards of that, because they are ultimately a software company, number one. Two, they use that Unreal tech all the time. And for them to get maybe the Unreal Engine on top of their id tech and all of that, they would have some pretty good engines to not only own, but to license out to third parties and stuff, and try to entice other companies to come into the Xbox ecosystem more with Xbox console and PC. They can use that as a good leverage thing, saying, hey, we own the Unreal Engine. Imagine if you can make your games even cheaper with us, and put them out cheaper, and make better games and more games through using our Unreal Engine now, and you don't have to pay all those extra royalties and stuff. Just as long as you prioritize the Xbox and Xbox PC platform, you can use this engine for nothing. Just allow us to put the Unreal Engine logo on there and stuff, and you get to make a great game, just like, Unity does, sort of, but they can waiver the fees. They could do a lot of other stuff just to entice people to put their stuff on the Xbox platform more, and also allow them to make the games for other places and stuff. And, they would have a bigger foothold on that, when you got Sony and Nintendo still just doing what Sony and Nintendo does. And, a lot of these third parties are like, oh, any way to save a few dollars. If Microsoft could help them save a few extra dollars making their games, I think that would be a very interesting situation, if you think what I'm thinking. But like I said, that's how I think. Who knows what the hell they're thinking over there at Xbox and Microsoft. And like I said, if the whole thing that Disney wants to, purchase Epic Games, they already got $1.5 billion invested in Epic Games for the Fortnite and all that stuff, to put their stuff into Fortnite and all that. So Disney sincerely might want to get that. But like I said, I think Microsoft would be the best bet, because if Sony was able to buy it, which I don't think they could afford it, but if they were, and they were to buy Epic Games and all that, I think they would have just did the whole thing with the behind the paywall, like they're doing with everything out the paywall, or their console wall, just like they're doing with their games now, when they're like, oh, our first party games are now going back to just the PlayStation console, and maybe we'll have some multiplayer games going all other platforms and stuff like that. And I think that's just a bad idea on Sony's part, to wall off their franchises, because they're going back to, oh, we're going to make this our only console thing. This is going to be walled off, just like how we used to do it in the old days. And the cost of production of these games and stuff, especially that Wolverine game, are people going to be spending $900+ on their consoles too? It sounds very, very not such good idea. But like I said, who else? Nintendo would just, Nintendo would not need to. They don't give a shit about Fortnite, or they don't give a shit about the Unreal Engine. Other companies can't afford it. Take-Two, they would just, I don't know. I don't think Take-Two would be a good steward either. They seem keen on their own tech, but I don't know. I think Xbox Microsoft would be the right choice, but still, you're playing with the devil themselves. You're playing with the devil. And I can admit that, not everything has been going smoothly over there, but who knows? Maybe this will all change. Maybe it'll get better, and And I don't mean hardware better, because hardware is going to be expensive no matter where you want to get your hardware from. But software wise, if you got the hardware already, you might be looking sitting pretty on that. And I think Xbox, Asha Sharma and Sharman, sorry, or Sharma, however you say her name, um, if she and Matt Booty and all them have some good ideas and they got some good backing and stuff like that, maybe they should take a little hit, especially if there might be a bid out to get Epic Games. And, you know, maybe they should say, hey, Nadella, can we purchase Epic Games and get that Unreal Engine over here? And I'm just saying, maybe that's a possibility. I don't know. I got those ideas. I wish I could purchase Epic Games, because shit, that'd make me a freaking fortune purchasing that company. Plus, I wouldn't waste all the money down the drain like a certain Tim Sweeney and co. did. But anyways, now Xbox news. Just talking about the devil themselves. I got a lot of Xbox talk. So Epic Games, Xbox Game Showcase has been announced for June. Go figure. Of course, that's going to happen. It happens every year in June. There hasn't been a year where it didn't happen. Even during COVID, right? Didn't they show like some presentation during that time, even though there was like nothing else? I think so too. That's when they went all video. But Xbox, instead of Epic, Xbox Games Showcase announced for June. Gears of War E-Day, this year's headlining title, getting dedicated direct as well. So we're going to see a lot of Gears of War E-Day during this direct. The Xbox Games Showcase is going to be on Sunday, June 7th at 10 p.m. PT time and 1 p.m. Eastern time. There we go. I can see that little 1 p.m. Eastern time right there. And 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Pacific. I always enjoy watching the Xbox Games Showcase every year. It used to be more around my birthday when E3 was still around. It used to come around it used to be on my birthday on the 14th and stuff like that. It used to be on that Sunday and stuff like that. Now they got like in the beginning of June and stuff. It's right in the beginning, and it's like, oh, okay. Because it used to be a really nice birthday gift for me to go, oh, it's my birthday, and I get to watch the Xbox Game Showcase and stuff right now, or conference, the Xbox conference back in the day. And that was always a big, fun ordeal for me. And people are like, oh, you want to go do something on your birthday or whatever? I'm like, I'm already doing something. I'm going to watch these games that are going to be coming out for me to buy and play and stuff like that. That was even before Game Pass came around. But I'm excited. They got a lot of their first-party games that they got to show off at the showcase. I'm interested in Gears of War E-Day, even though they're using the older kind of Lancers. I don't know if you'll get to use the new Lancer in it, like they discover it and, you know, they start using it in the E-Day. I would hope I would be able to use the Chainsaw Lancer in the E-Day, but it's more like the old school Lancers. But I'm interested in what Gears of War E-Day is going to do, and I hope after Gears of War E-Day, and I hope it has some good online multiplayer stuff too. I hope they bring back the not just the horde mode. The horde mode is always good in the Gears of War online, but if they brought back the battle where you can do the it's not to capture the flag, it's the capture, like blow up the base or something. What was that called? It was in Gears of War Judgment, the one game that most people hate. I didn't hate it. Most people hated it. Some people said, oh, it's the worst game ever. It has Barrett. It's the worst. He sucks. Jeff Gerstmann would say that mostly. I thought he was fine. I like Barrett. I like Gears of War Judgment just fine. I just hated that star system that they had in there, that where they would rank you. But otherwise, that online multiplayer is so much fun. I played so much of it. And is it like you could build up, like one team would build up a base and they'd put up all the like the barbed wire and traps just like you would do in like horde mode and stuff. And they would gear up, then they would try to protect the power generator and stuff. And then the other team would be the locust, and I could be like the centipede or something. And I'd go running super quick over there, and I'd start eating and bashing the fence, the little what do you call it, barbed wire fences, and then they would start coming to try to shoot me. And then I'd go to the other side while everybody was focused on that one, because for some reason gamers don't understand about tactics and stuff. So the rest of my team would be focused on going that way because I'd get most of that barbed wire fence already down for them, and the other team would be focused on trying to kill them to not take that down. So I'd go to the other side, and I'd start eating that bashing that barbed wire fence and break that down and start breaking into the other side of their thing. And then when they finally realize, oh shit, they're coming on the other side, they'd go to the other side, thin their herd out, and I'd go back onto the other side and keep doing that. And man, and being support and all that, and me just being support and doing that helped me get a lot of wins, a lot of W's in that online. And it was so much fun. It was so stupid, but it was so much fun. And I mostly played as the centipede and stuff, you know. I played as other other bad characters in there too, but as the horde, but I was mostly the centipede horde in that, or locust in that, whatever, the locusts horde. It was really fun, let's just say. So I liked every Gears of War. When Gears of War got remastered and remastered again, I played all of them and beat all of them, sadly enough. And if they ever remaster Gears of War 2 and 3 and everything else, I would definitely play all those again. But I really enjoy Gears of War. I think those are games for someone like me, because the guys in Gears of War, like Marcus Phoenix and all, they're all bulky. They're all semi-slow. They made them a little faster, but they're still like big, slower, you know. They move around sluggishly enough. And it's better for somebody like me with slow fingers and, you know, like, oh, good, this is a game slow enough for me. But they did, like I said, they kind of ruined the basic multiplayer part of Gears of War, because they sped up the multiplayer of Gears of War. And I really didn't like that, because I liked it when it was a little slower and I was able to focus more and, you know, kill off other people and other teams and stuff. I can still do it, but I'm not as quick as I used to be. But still always a classic for me. I'm interested in what they're going to show off for Gears of War E-Day, what they're going to show off from the game and stuff. So, and when it comes out, of course. Plus, when they show maybe Fable and some other stuff, that's always a thing. Others are talking about, well, they'll show off the next Call of Duty or something. Yeah, maybe, probably. They probably usually do. Maybe they'll talk about the plans for this upcoming Halo campaign involved remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. It's a remake. They call it a remake. So that's going to be shown off. And then, of course, other games from other parts of the company are going to be showed off. So I am interested. I am interested in what they're going to show off and what they're going to bring to the table this year. And you notice Sony don't do really anything. They had some showcases, but they're not really. They're like for one game and then partner showcases. That's what I've mostly seen. They had like a little bit of this and then partner showcases. Microsoft actually brings a bunch of games. Xbox, I should say, under Microsoft, brings a lot of games to the table if they're coming out right away or later. They got a lot of games on the table coming out this year, so they got some stuff coming out, and I'm gonna play as much of that stuff as I possibly can. Okay, you didn't notice a thing. I had to blow my nose because of my sinus allergies are still going on. They came back for a little bit. So I'm interested. I'm interested in seeing maybe more Fable. Hopefully they'll show off more Fable. Is Forza Motorsport 6 coming out before that? I think, right? That's not coming out after that. I think it's coming out before that, right? When's Forza Motorsport 6 coming out? Let's see here. Forza, not Motorsport, Forza Horizon 6. Yeah, there we go. Forza Horizon 6. When's that coming out? May 19th. Oh, that's coming out soon. That's coming out next month. So, yeah, that's coming out May 19th. So that's way before. So I am really interested in that, but maybe they'll show some more stuff on that after. But yeah, I'm interested in what Gears of War is going to bring to the table. I'm interested in what Fable's going to bring to the table because I loved the Fable franchise. Even the third one a little bit, but then I fell off the third one because the third one got somewhat boring and I didn't understand what to do and I got lost in Fable 3 for some weird reason and I just gave up on it because there was other games to play. So I stopped and then they started making those offshoot Fable games that never really did anything for the franchise and basically just melted the franchise to nothing for years, especially when they closed down the studio because Peter Molyneux left a long time ago. So, stuff like that. So hopefully this Fable makes a comeback and it makes a comeback for the studio, the new studio that they had created for it, and all that, which is basically what the Forza team that is doing it in Britain. I think in Britain. They're doing it in Britain, right? Other news, Microsoft gaming chief Asha Sharma. Okay, Asha Sharma. I gotta make it sound more like a Sharma. Sharma, like eating Sharma. I don't know. Don't ask me. She's the one I guess killed This Is an Xbox campaign as it didn't feel like Xbox. And a lot of people didn't like that whole campaign for some reason. Me, I'm like, why? What was wrong with This Is an Xbox? She's got nice teeth. I gotta say, she's got nice teeth. For me, I'm like, why? What was wrong with This Is an Xbox campaign? I never understood that. I know PCs and stuff aren't really Xboxes and it's streaming to TVs and all it isn't really an Xbox, but what is Xbox nowadays? Isn't it evolving into more than just the main console itself, even though they're still chilling and trying to sell the main console? But for me, as I play games mostly on my PC, my Xbox ROG Ally X and stuff like that, sometimes I'll stream off my console and stuff like that. But it's more, I play my Xbox games in more places in different areas than just off the main console itself anymore, unlike a PlayStation or Nintendo Switch and stuff like that. I actually get my gaming out of more stuff. So technically, and if I was to want to play a game like I didn't have my handheld with me and I didn't have anything else and I had only my phone and my controller or a tablet and my controller and I had decent internet, I could just download the Xbox app or just go on to the browser and play my stream and play games right off of that, because all I need is an internet connection and the controller. And I hear they're making I guess they're making a new controller that is going to utilize the Wi-Fi part of it more. And so people can play their Xbox games in the cloud better and stuff like that, just like how Google once did with Stadia, but then they killed it right away because they didn't do it well enough and they didn't know how to make it a viable product because that's Google for you. But Microsoft's doing it. But yeah, anything could be an Xbox. Anything with internet, a screen, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth capabilities. I didn't mind that. I knew what they were doing. I seen where they were going, and I guess a lot of people just didn't like it and got, like gamers alike and other people alike. People get really upset and about stupid stuff, and they really don't want to adapt to new stuff. People just get set in their ways and stuff like that. And they really take a disliking to a lot of that stuff. And for me, I'm just like, hey, I just want to play the games. I don't care where they are and what they are. I just want to play the games. And I also want to get achievements for my games. So if I can get Xbox achievements for those games and such, that's great too. But you know, it didn't matter to me if it was on my Xbox or if it was on, a PC or whatnot. But I guess this is an Xbox was a campaign that just people just didn't get. But here's the thing. If Microsoft is that studio, and I didn't even talk about the part that they sell games to on other platforms like Switch and PlayStation as well, and Steam. They still sell their games on PC on the Steam store because they sell them wherever they can sell games and make money off of them. So, technically anything can be an Xbox if you could play Xbox games on it. At least some Xbox games. Now, if they were able to get Game Pass on a lot of these systems, then sure, then you can definitely consider calling them more Xbox. Not that Sony and Nintendo would ever allow that, but possibilities. Other Microsoft news. Microsoft just killed the triangle by triangle ray tracing. Now, this is more of a technical kind of thing. So basically, I guess ray tracing started all the way back in 2018 with the release of the NVIDIA GeForce 20 series of GPUs. I think I remember that. Suddenly, the lighting method was used in high-end pre-rendered Hollywood movies, could be used in live video games as well, as that was the promise. In practice, ray tracing hasn't made the impact it could have because, nobody ever really utilized it, and consoles and stuff never could get it to work right or something. I don't know. Maybe they're weren't as powerful enough to do it. I don't know. But it was never really a thing. Unless if you're playing on a PC with a dedicated GPU and CPU and stuff like that. Let's see here. It was only on the higher end systems that can make decent use of it. That might be changing because part of the series of development announcements, Microsoft is laying out the roadmap for the fundamental shift in the technology, which promises to make it much more efficient and widespread in the future. So what they're doing, and what I'm noticing with the talk here, they're basically going to take ray tracing, and instead of, because all the ray tracing is just like how anything is made in any 3D universe in gaming and stuff. It's all made by triangles. It's like if you ever watched the Pixar story, and they talked about how they started making Pixar movies and stuff, and it's all a bunch of little triangles, billions of triangles and all that, and it makes up the worlds and stuff that and stuff. Well, what Microsoft is doing with ray tracing and how everything's working, lighting, shadows, and all that, that's glitz and glamour. Instead of doing it triangle by triangle, just like the architecture and stuff, they're going to blend that shit. They're going to make it so they all cluster together, and it's all going to be like a big sloppy blended mess, and it could just blend around objects and stuff like that, which makes it a lot easier to render, and you probably get a better looking ray tracing capabilities, and it just does a way far better job and uses less GPU and CPU and all that to do that. For example, with mesh shadows, you can generate or manage geometry more dynamically, but that can impact the acceleration structure. Modern video games also make use of asset streaming, which means that there's constantly new geometry being streamed in that needs to be part of the data structure, and geometry is left that's left memory and shouldn't be. There's just a lot of technical stuff about this, but I kind of get what they're trying to do. They're trying to blob and mess and stretch the lighting and shadows and stuff out so that it doesn't need to be rendered pixel by pixel, triangle by triangle. It's just going to wrap around stuff, and it's going to be a lot easier to render and stuff and make, lower end GPUs and stuff be able to do it better, and maybe make games out there even better for ray tracing for the future. You know, that's pretty cool. I'm glad that they are working on tech like that. And it's not just NVIDIA and stuff, and it's, you know, AMD's working on it, but Microsoft's also still working on it because they believe in that stuff. So, and they're going to probably have that with, I guess they're going to utilize that tech in their DirectX, what is it, 12 or 13? I forgot where we're at, because aren't we at 11 or 12 right now? The next DirectX is going to utilize a lot of that new ray tracing and architecture and stuff like that. That's what they're promising. I think that's DirectX 13, because I think we got 12 now. Xbox LIX gets even better with a refreshed Xbox app, new display widget, and extra features. I think I have that. I don't know. I play on my ROG Ally Xbox ROG Ally X all the time. I just don't ever notice anything. I just play games, click on them, and play them. But okay. So here's what the Xbox app update actually changes. So they're trying to talk here. First, users can now customize where notifications appear, giving more control over how alerts show up on the screen. These settings can be found within the Xbox game bar. Next, users can directly adjust graphic settings without leaving their game, which is much needed quality of life improvement. The new display widget available through the Xbox game bar overlay allows users to change display resolution, switch projection modes, and access auto super resolution, which is set to release in April of 2026. So we're in April right now. So I guess that means that's going to happen. ROG Xbox LAX, Xbox app update, display widget. That just shows us how to get to it, I guess. This is it for now with auto super resolution right around the corner. This guy that wrote the article on MSN, he expects that there will be more updates to arrive soon. And even if you want early access to these features, Xbox now advertises signups through What's New panel within the Xbox game bar. That's cool, I guess. You know, always got to adjust it. Always got to make things better within the handheld gaming community. Because I guess Microsoft and Xbox is still fully on board with, you know, the ROG Allies and the PC handhelds and stuff. You know, as long as it's, you know, doing what they want it to do, you know, I guess that's what they're going to do with that, you know. Interesting. It's always interesting in what they're going to do, how they're going to make that more Xbox-like in feel, and if we can ever play Xbox original titles on that, which everybody wants. Everybody wants that, and I know they talk about how maybe they got to get licensing deals going and stuff like that to be able to do that, but I'm like, why? If the person owns the game already, digitally or whatnot, why not just make this as a feature and they can go and play this game legitly wherever they want and however they want? I don't know. It doesn't sound like it has to be attached to the one device, you know? I don't know. It's crazy for licensing for stuff like that, games, movies, stuff like that, because Hollywood gets really upset about that stuff, you know? Can't play it on that. You just got to play it on this, and you got to pay more to play on that. You know what I mean? While Lead asks how players could feel about playing on a controller, fans fear it'll get worse on PC. So basically, the people at World of Warcraft or Blizzard are trying to test the waters for getting World of Warcraft finally to be playable with an Xbox controller. Now, they say controller, but I'm sure they mostly mean an Xbox controller mostly. But for me, I'm like, sure, because technically you need a keyboard and mouse to play that game because there's so many macros and this and that you have to put in to play the game. And I'm like, if they can streamline a lot of the controls and most of the controls, maybe make one of those like GTA scroll wheels where you can scroll around to pick your stuff and to make it just really smooth and good. That would be pretty good. Now, for the WoW purists out there, they're going to say, hey, you should just be playing that on a keyboard or mouse and utilizing that to do your World of Warcrafting and stuff. But maybe this can get newer, younger players in this game. Maybe get some old guys like me to go, I could play World of Warcraft using my Xbox controller now. Okay, I don't have to map things to my keyboard and mouse. I could just maybe map them to my Xbox controller. I don't know. It'd make my hands and fingers a little bit better because I'm not using the mouse and this. I got to use this gel mouse wrist thing because it just makes my wrist better when I'm playing a lot of PC games. And I try to play a lot of my PC games, I try to play mostly with my Xbox dedicated controller instead of a keyboard and mouse, unless if I really, really need to. There's a very few games that I really need to use that for. Most likely like TCG Card Shop Simulator, Supermarket Simulator, and Minecraft Java Edition, because that definitely does not support controllers. Even though the Bedrock Edition does, the Java version does not. Which is kind of weird because it's like, why not support a controller with the Java version? Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. But okay. I'm not a WoW fan, or at least I'm not a WoW playing fan. I get it. I get the worlds that you can go in and how you battle and all that. I think all the stuff that comes out of it, like the movie, not many people like the World of Warcraft movie. I like the Warcraft movie. I thought it was pretty interesting. Nobody else did. And a lot of, there was stuff like, what was the other stuff? Yeah, but I can't think of any other games right now. I'd have to look at my list of games, but there are few games that I do need to Command & Conquer, RTS games. Yes, definitely got to use a keyboard and mouse for those. Using a controller really is not the best way to do that. Even though I tried multiple times to play like RTS games like Command & Conquer when they brought it to consoles and stuff to try to use a controller for that. I just felt like it was sloppy and not very good, but utilizing that with a keyboard and mouse always was better. So, yeah. That's just me. Let's see here. I'm just going through the list here of games news, but let them try it because it's not like you have to use it, right? They're just saying, hey, maybe we'll add full controller support for this game for WoW because it's been out for a million years. It's been out since I was young. And it's like, why not? And then if you dedicated people still just want to use keyboard and mouse, use keyboard and mouse. I don't know. I don't see what the problem is, especially if you're using keyboard and mouse and then you're doing things a lot faster than the people with a gaming controller. Why not? Why not? Why do people get up in arms and complain about that stuff? I really do not understand. Is it because gamers are fickle? Because I'm not fickle. Like I said, I embrace a lot of stuff, in the gaming sphere. I don't know why others don't, and they should. They should, and why not? WoW's super popular. Why try not to make it more popular with other folk that might want to just play with a key controller, especially if you bring WoW to console someday. Maybe that's another thing they're trying to. Maybe they're being asked by Xbox and Microsoft proper, saying, "Hey, can you get that working on a controller, fully working on a controller? Because we might want to bring WoW to the Xbox, so Xbox players can play WoW, where they're at, or PlayStation players, or maybe even Switch players if possible. You know what? I'm just spitballing there. So it's more expanded than just the PC. Hey, if they can do it for the Fallout game, they could do it for WoW. Why not? I know, totally not the same thing. Other games news. Let's go for the regular rest of the games news because we're done with Xbox gaming news. Unity, the game engine behind titles like Hollow Knight, Silksong, and Peak, beats estimates in Q1 financials. Game engine maker Unity, whose tech powers many games from 2025 hits like Hollow Knight, Silksong, and Peak, to anticipated 2026 offerings like Mouse PI for Hire and Replaced. I don't know what those games are, both of which are due out next month. Or is that meaning this month? I think it means this month because it says next month, but it's this is an article from March, so this is April. The company expects to be forecast with revenue anticipated to be between $505 million to $508 million, above the $480 and $490 million guidance. Adjusted blah 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 blah. Meanwhile, which is measurably the measure of profitability, is expected to land in the 130 million to 135 million range, above the guided figure of 105 million to 110 million. This amounts to 58% year-over-year growth. According to Steam database, more than 8,500 games powered by Unity were published to Steam each of the past 2 years. Recent notable games that have been built using Unity include Lego Voyagers, PowerWash Simulator 2, oh yeah, and Terminator 2D No Fate. With very impressive results. I guess because these results were very impressive, just 2 years after the company navigated choppy waters, thanks to John Riccitiello, before CEO, now retired, forcibly retired. After this controversial policy change that included a new Unity runtime fee that would apply to developers whose games utilize Unity reached a certain amount of installs and revenue, this policy was walked back shortly thereafter, but not before raising the ire of many game developers. In fact, developer Mega Crit ditched Unity for Slay the Spire 2 in part because of the Unity runtime fee policy, moving instead to Godot, a free open source cross-platform engine. Godot, not Gal Gadot, right? Did she make a game engine? Did Gal Gadot learn how to make game engines with the Godot engine? Yeah, so, you know, that Riccitiello guy, John Riccitiello, CEO of Unity back in the day, last year, he was bad. He kind of ruined Unity as a company, the Unity company, just by making bad policies. And I understand, you know, they were trying to figure out ways to make more money faster because it was costing them more money to invest in Unity and everything else. But I think they're going at it the wrong way, and shit happened and people got mad, and then everybody said, hey, we're not making any more games on Unity. We're going to make our new games on Unreal and everything else, you know, they were talking about. And I'm like, ooh, that's bad, because a lot of my games that I would play on Xbox and such, I always seen a lot of Unity logos on a lot of games, more than Unreal logos and stuff like that. So I was like, Unreal game, or I mean, Unity game, And now I see maybe less. Like I said, PowerWash Simulator 2, Terminator 2D No Fate, definitely seen that. So apparently Gabe Newell stepped back from making video games after Portal 2 because everyone kept agreeing with him. Oh yeah, that sucks, you know. He just needed the no dude, you know? He needed a guy that said, or a girl to say, hey, Gabe, no, no, that sucked. No. So when you got a lot of yes men working for you and yes women, and they don't really, want to step on your toes or anything or say no to the boss, and they just want to agree with everything that you're doing, you don't get any real feedback from that. You don't really get any good feedback for that, for making games and doing whatever. All you get is a bunch of people just kissing ass and saying, hey, you're doing a great job, just to make their money meet and stuff. But that ruins people like, like I like people that say no or give me ideas and opinions about stuff. And a lot of people just don't want to do it. They just listen to my stuff too. And they're like, yeah, okay, that'll work. That's good. You're doing it. And it's like, don't you got any ideas? No. It's like everybody's creatively bankrupt out there, and nobody wants to make their own ideas and stuff like that. And it's, yeah, it's just a real weird thing to have. And when your people don't help you by saying no to stuff and stepping in and going, hey, maybe you should do it this way, Gabe, or that way, like he said in this article, Gabe says, hey, it's like the danger here is becoming like George Lucas on the Star Wars prequels. So, a lot of people like to take a stab on those Star Wars prequels, which made, let me guess, a fortune anyway. So it doesn't really matter if people said yes or no. George was George. He ran the company. Nobody says no to George. Still made a shit ton of money from those. So, okay, guess it still worked out. But yeah, I guess that's the whole reason why Gabe Newell doesn't want to make games himself anymore, because he's like, nobody ever tells me to shut the fuck up. So, and that's sad, because he's got a lot that he can do. Let's see here. USPTO rejects Nintendo's controversial summon character and let it fight Pokemon patent in non-final ruling as Palworld legal battle rumbles on. So the USPTO has rejected Nintendo's controversial summon character and let it fight Pokemon patent after it was heavily criticized by IP lawyers last year. In November, the director of the United States Patent and Trademark Office, USPTO, ordered a re-examination of the patent after IP lawyers had criticized the U.S. patent system and the USPTO for awarding it. At the time, IP expert Florian Mueller took to social media to state Nintendo should never have received a summon character and let it fight patent in the first place, while video game patent lawyer Kirk Sigmund stated to PC Gamer that these claims were in no way allowable. But, because our systems are broken and people don't understand what they're allowing to be trademarked and all that stuff, shit like that happens. And, the whole thing like this with the whole Nintendo going after Pocket Pair because their game seems a better Pokemon game than Nintendo and the Pokemon Company had ever done. They got worried, so they're like, oh no, we got to be litigious and trying to make some money off of this and trying to sue these guys. And ever since then, Pocket Pair with Palworld has been still embroiling in a litigation with the Nintendo and the Pokemon Company in lawsuits and stuff. And I'm like, wow, Pocket Pair is probably spending a shit ton of money, a small fortune, to be fighting against this, against Nintendo and the Pokemon Company about all these patents and stuff. And why we have patents for stuff for inside video games and such that mean nothing really for these things, because you're just saying, because people can't have a calling action or a thing coming out of a Pokeball and stuff like that, that it should be able to be patented and stuff like that. And that's not true. Not everything should be patented. there's a lot of stuff out there that shouldn't be patented, but is because we got a bad system and, a lot of corruption going on. And some companies try to take, um, they try to take advantage of the system. It's just like how when the one patent troll company was trying to sue everybody making podcasts. Luckily for me, I never made a cent, so there was nothing they could ever sue me on. But they were suing podcasts all the time, and they were winning because they had a stupid patent out about for fucking podcasts and stuff. And then eventually, Adam Carolla fought back and won the patent suit against them about podcasting, and now we all do podcasts more and more now thanks to Adam Carolla. And I know a lot of people probably don't know who he is, or if you do know who he is, I know a lot of people that don't care for him. But you got to say something about that guy. He does some good shit, and the whole lawsuit against the patent trolls because he says I'm not paying those motherfuckers. He got that suit turned around, and he won the whole battle in court, and those patent trolls went away for podcasting because they knew that they couldn't be litigious with that anymore. And that was great. That was the best thing. And, Adam Carolla, he's pretty good. He spent a shit ton of money on that lawsuit, and, people helped him out. It was good. Same thing with this. I like Palworld. I think Palworld did nothing wrong. Sure, a lot of their creatures do look like Pokemon in some aspects, but come on. Nintendo and the Pokemon Company made a Pokemon out of every single fucking thing in the world. They made Pokemon that were lamps, brooms, spatulas, keyboards, mice, this, that. They basically ran out of Pokemon ideas when they're making Pokemon out of animate objects and stuff like that, and at that time it's like, okay, you can't keep making shit and saying these patents are yours or these Pokemon are yours and stuff, and they look too much like ours and the game feels too much like ours, even though this is Pokemon with guns and you're able to build like bases and stuff in the game, and it's a little bit of Minecraft and stuff like that. There's a lot more going on through that game compared to a Pokemon game where you're just going around fighting, battling other Pokemon, capturing them, and your Pokeballs and stuff, and summoning them for battles. That's the only thing. And it's stupid. It's very stupid. Sad news for a lot of you Rec Room people out there. Rec Room, which once was... they say social gaming platform Rec Room once was valued at $3.5 billion at one point, is now shutting down due to the fact the people that founded and were made and were running Rec Room could never figure out how to make profit from it. Could never figure out how to make Rec Room profitable and make any money from it. So they stated, hey, starting now, no new accounts or friend requests can be made. Creators will no longer be able to share monetized content because people would make content for a Rec Room and make money off of it. The platform will go dark at 12 p.m. PT time on June 1st. So June 1st, 12 PT time, there will be no more Rec Room. It looked cool. I liked watching people play Rec Room. I watched a lot of Giant Bomb videos and Nextlander videos and such, and a lot of people and Jeff Gersman and such and others playing Rec Room. I never personally played Rec Room myself. Never got into it, but I always enjoyed others playing it, and I thought it was a pretty cool little thing. Cheesy, but cool. And I think they did a lot with Rec Room when they last updated it. And as of right now, I feel a little sad that that's going away because that was like one of those little phenomenons. And it's sad that they couldn't just like, I don't know, charge a monthly fee or something for it, maybe $1 a month or something, or whatever they could charge, or add some, purchases in there, like make make those what do they call them? Ah, shit. I forgot what they're called. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Make those consumables for to be purchased in the game. They could probably have made some money off of that if they made some consumables like little weapons, this, that, backpacks, whatever, make them useful and stuff like that. Add them to the game so people can buy them and whatnot. Add a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, they did a lot to make Rec Room profitable. I don't understand. They're just probably bad business people because they said they made some money, but they never made enough money, and Rec Room was costing them more than they were bringing in, and it's like another bad business trope from other businessmen, and that could have been not, because everybody else knows how to make money off their platforms. You got Second Life that's still, I guess, around as I hear. I don't hear about it much, but I still hear it's around and they're making money. And you got, even though Fortnite's been slumping a little bit, a little less than their multi-billion-dollar franchise, they're still making money off of that, because of the consumables and all that. So I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to get out of it. I don't know. I bet the people that are running Rec Room, I bet they could have had some stuff programmed in there to keep it going for a lot longer. But anyways, maybe they just didn't have the foresight for that. Oh well. Okay, here's the thing. Nintendo physical price split is a pro-consumer move, says X sales lead. So Nintendo announced that they're going to, have a $10 difference between Switch 2 games, either they're digital or physical. So between the physical and digital games, and the digital games are going to be like $10 cheaper, I guess, in some cases. And the physical cartridges are going to be more expensive because they're physical. I have the feeling that they're going to just bump up the prices of all the games and just make them all like, what is it? What am I trying to say here? I'm trying to say, excuse me, my mind is wandering. Okay, sorry about that, folks. Getting a little tired. It's getting a little late today. I started this second half off late because I was doing other stuff throughout the day, and I wasn't planning on doing this. But like I said, my second part of this podcast for the Gamez Newz got lost somewhere in the mail or something. I don't know. And I had to re-record this, but I'm recording this later. So the whole thing is, I think Nintendo's going to try to make their games more expensive and then charge $10 less from that, just like how they got Mario Kart World physical $80, but I think maybe the digital version of it's $70. It could be a good thing, but with Nintendo, I think it's all, we're just doing it for magical purposes, and that, really, these games, because didn't they just say that they bumped up a game? I forgot what it was called. Was it a Kirby game or something or whatever, upcoming game, and they bumped it up $10 or something? So the game's like $80 and then or something, or $70, and then the other game's gonna be $60 for the digital title. I don't know. Nintendo knows how to get around that, and people still buy all their expensive stuff. And you notice Nintendo doesn't really lower prices either, just like Sony, because they know they got people buy over a barrel on that stuff, and they know you can't play their games anywhere else unless if you steal them, which that's what they're doing. They're creating more people to be able to emulate and steal their games if they don't keep them a little bit cheaper. And it's a Nintendo. I don't get it. I don't get why they would make their games super expensive anyways, but apparently they want to do this as a goodwill gesture. Like I said, I don't believe it. And they figure, and I said this for a long time. Hey, if I'm buying a digital copy of the same game, why am I paying the same price as the physical copy? And why can't I just get cheaper? Because there's no physical copy, there's no packaging, stuff like that. So it should be cheaper via the digital version. But then it was always said, oh, these are all made the same, blah, 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 blah. There was a lot of non-actual information on why they did that. And then now that we're in the digital world more and more people buying digital releases of games than physical, Nintendo Switch excluded from that, but because they make cartridges of games that people want. But like I'm saying now, as I found out, these game carts aren't gonna last forever, so that's why I'm selling off my stock of Xbox for Nintendo Switch game carts and stuff like that, because I'm like, well, I'll just buy the digital copies of these games now, and two, I don't have to worry about my game carts not working and stuff because they don't last as long because they're made with flash memory and not a more redundant memory like they used to use in their game cartridges that will last and last and last. Now they're just using regular memory like you would see in a flash media memory for like your phone or tablet or something like that. Yeah. So a lot of things with that. Then that's one of those reasons why I want to go digital. Plus the fact that I could just re-download the game from the store, all the time and not worry about it. And it'll install, like download and install quickly. Why should I own a physical title ever again with any of these games? Probably not. But we'll keep watching this. I'll keep watching this and seeing what people say and think about this whole price split. Plus the fact that retailers aren't really stocking games much anymore, unless if it is a Nintendo and stuff like that. But Nintendo doesn't have to really have them sell their games anymore. They can just sell them digitally and just sell the units at the stores, because the stores still sell the Switch 2s, at least for now, until Nintendo could just sell it to you directly from online. But yeah, so they don't have to worry about retailers anymore. And if a retailer wanted to get back and say, hey, Nintendo, no, you're making us look bad, you're making our product more expensive here, Nintendo's just going to shrug and go, whatever. And that retailer ain't going to back out from, they're not going to back down from selling their stuff. So unlike a Microsoft and stuff like that. Let's see here. Remember the Switch 2's mystery C button? Nintendo is trying to tempt you with platinum points and user icons just to press it. Now game chat is a premium feature. Oh yes, I forgot about that, because first off, I don't own a Switch 2. Maybe in the future, like I always say, if there's a OLED version or a handheld version of the Switch 2, I would consider getting it. And two, I don't think I would ever use game chat. How many people use game chat? Especially if they're charging for it, for something that shouldn't need to be charged for, because it's just stupid. And it's Nintendo trying to make nickel and dime everybody. And I know they hate when people like me say that, but they are. They're trying to nickel and dime you on that shit. And it sucks. At the time of the Game Chat's announcement, the idea sounded fun enough. You can voice chat with friends, or use the USB video with a USB video camera and share a feed of your gameplay with others. Nintendo also confirmed that it would eventually move the service behind a paid Nintendo Switch Online subscription on April 1st of 2026, a date that lapsed already. Now Nintendo seems keen on you to remember that the C button exists, even though they're charging for it. And if they didn't charge for it, maybe it would get better use. I don't know. A new mission is buzzing in, reads the message on Nintendo's website that advertises the rewards. Until April 22nd, Nintendo Switch Online members can earn 100 My Nintendo reward points by hopping into Game Chat, an exclusive feature for the Nintendo Switch 2 system that lets you group up and hang out with friends and family. You'll then be able to redeem your points for themed icon elements, which you can use to create a fresh look for your user icon, whatever. I think game chat is okay. I think their whole idea on it was pretty cool. And I can see most people that are doing these polls here say they have never used game chat. And only 3%, like 82.3% never used game chat. Only 3% liked that used game chat all the time. 3.7% tried it, but not always. And 11% once or twice. I like the whole functionality of game chat just to chat with people. If we wanted to do chat like we do chat on Xbox online or PlayStation online with games and such. But the whole, and the game sharing thing looked cool, but it looked like really crappy, which they said it was meant to be because it would take too much horsepower to show off more than that. But chatting back and forth with people, that was a good feature, and it should be free, or it should be in your included with your regular Nintendo Online subscription. You shouldn't have to pay extra for that, but because it's Nintendo, they want you to pay extra for every little feature. So that's why game chat is probably going to fail overall, and it's going to go away because they're not going to be able to utilize that, or if they are and they're not making any money from it, then I could say la vida game chat. Eventually we'll hear that Nintendo is eventually going to shut down game chat. I bet that'll happen. I bet that'll happen sooner than later because I know companies like Nintendo and they're not patient. They're not that patient. In the final news of the Gamez Newz, folks, of now, here's the final story, and it's a fun one. And this isn't really it's video game related, but it's not about video games, but it is about video games, but it's only in movie form. Apparently, Jack Black and Donald Glover want to star in a first ever adaptation of Nintendo's classic 42-year-old video game. And what video game might that be, folks? Well, released back in 1984, Duck Hunt is the new Nintendo Entertainment System NES light gun shooter game. Players use the NES zapper to aim the ducks or clay pigeons on their CRT screen. Each round gives players 3 chances to hit their targets, while a hunting dog collects prey or mocks the gamers by laughing at them if they miss. While there's no official plans at the time about it for a Duck Hunt movie, comedy icons Jack Black and Donald Glover expressed their interest in starring in a movie about the classic Nintendo game. Let's see here. During the conversation, the two actors implored studio executives to consider them for roles in a movie should ever come to fruition. They also explained how they might fit into the Duck Hunt film adaptation. Black stated that he would want to be the one who hunted ducks. He eagerly stated, I could go hunting ducks. Glover, on the other hand, stated he'd like to play the game's mischievous and universally disliked unnamed dog. Despite not having an official name, the character is widely known. Let's see here. Widely known as the Laughing Dog. Oh, it's known as the Laughing Dog. Amongst players familiar with the game, I always called him Bruno or something. I don't know. He also agreed that the Super Mario Galaxy movie co-star would be perfect. Be a perfect duck hunter. Yeah, I'll play the dog. I can laugh at people. You should probably be the dog. I'll be the hunter. Would you guys go see a Duck Hunt movie if it starred Jack Black and Donald Glover? I would, because I'm the person that shamelessly loved the Minecraft movie with Jack Black and all that. And I watched this Mario movie. And I'm going to go see the Super Mario movie. Maybe this this Tuesday after this podcast. I got to go see when showtimes are and stuff like that. But I am planning on seeing that Super Mario movie. So Super Mario Galaxy movie, excuse me. And I would love to see a Duck Hunt movie. Just like I like the Minecraft movie that was pretty lame, but it was funny enough with Jack Black and people. That's just me. That's just me. Anyways, there's no more games news because I even checked recently today because now we're in Saturday as I am going to, edit this and get this all nicely packaged for today's showing and playing on Monday. But yeah, there was no more new games news and stuff. So yeah. So that is it. That is it for the news, folks. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the show. I am going to get out of here now because I am getting tired and I want to, edit this podcast so I can get it ready for Monday. And I would just, like I said, one more time, I just want to say, folks, if you guys are planning on wanting to see a live GameOn, it won't be this Friday. This Friday on 4/10/2026. There will not be a live GameOn session. It will be a pre-recorded GameOn session, and I will put it out during the day because I have to be at the airport in the morning on Saturday. So that is why. So it's going to be a GameOn special, and it's going to be trucking. So get ready for me to truck and truck some more. And also, a little new note here. Well, I can wait till the next podcast. So we'll leave it at that. So why don't I get out of here, folks? And everybody, have a happy week. Go see that Super Mario Galaxy movie, I guess, that is doing gangbusters. Play some games. Enjoy. The weather is getting better out. I'm getting pretty hot in here. It's already 70-something degrees, and I got the fan going. It's still 70-something degrees in my office right now, so it's pretty warm. So everybody, until next time, folks, if you want to go to my website at OldFreakyGamer.com, that is where everything you can find is at. Even links to other things like YouTube, my YouTube channel, or to Twitch.tv if you want to watch me live on Friday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Not this Friday, but in future Fridays, or YouTube.com, my YouTube live channel. That's also at OldFreakyGamer.com. I already talked about my YouTube channel. The podcast, this podcast goes up every Monday, unless I take a break or something, but it's up every Monday. So that's cool. And yeah, I think that's it. I don't think I have anything else. So everybody, until next time, I am Mr. Mike signing out saying game on, game hard, world conquest. I'm pushing this gamer button, and the show is now game over. See ya.
Game over.